sound okay? Because, we don't have a mic, so we just okay. Yeah, absolutely right. That's good. I think that's good. 1 minute till intro. Let me pull over here and grab. It is 9:45 on a football Friday night. This is high school football, Alabama's After the Game. Jon Holder sitting with you on the football Friday night all the way until midnight, maybe beyond tonight, as we jump back into region play. After the game presented by the Calhoun County Commission. It is a big night of region play. We're sorting out who's going to the state playoffs and who's going to be staying at home. A lot of impactful games across East Alabama to that end. Some games are even going into overtime as we speak, but a lot of the games are finals. So let's jump now to our Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware scoreboard and give you most of all the final scores, because most of the games are over with. A lot of Thursday night games last night, including this game. Number 3 Piedmont in 3A traveling to Rainbow City to take on Westbrook Christian. Piedmont wins the game 34-0. We will have highlights of that game coming up on After the Game. Also last night, down in Talladega, homecoming at Mary Dumas Stadium, White Plains with an impressive victory. They pick up their second win of the year and a region win in Class 4A Region 4 as White Plains beats Talladega 48-14. We will have highlights of that game from last night in Talladega. Further south in Talladega County last night, a huge game in Class 1A Region 4. Donahoe and Winneboro. Donahoe may have clinched a playoff berth with this win. They beat Winneboro last night 28-20 with a goal line stand at the end of the game to win it by the Donahoe defense. And we will have highlights of that game from Bulldog Stadium in Winneboro from last night. Tonight, Oxford goes on the road. They needed a victory, and they got a big one on the road at Pell City. Oxford has now won 10 straight against the Panthers. Oxford wins tonight 38-13, the final from Pete Ridge Alumni Stadium. Walter Welborn on the road tonight at John Cox Stadium in Childersburg. They win over the Tigers 46-26. Huge region matchup coming up next week with Randolph County. More about that game in just a moment. Anniston tonight. This was the big game in the state of Alabama. Number 4 versus number 2 in Class 4A at Watt Mosby Memorial Stadium in Anniston. Anniston beats Hanley 32-7. The outstanding running back, Jay Haynes of Hanley, only played about 3 plays in this game before going out with a re-injury of that leg injury he had from a couple weeks ago against Central Clay County. So he did not play basically in this game at all. Anniston with an impressive win over Hanley, 32-7. Anniston remains undefeated, 7-0, and more than likely that will put Anniston in the driver's seat to wrap up the region title in Class 4A Region 4. Of course, we will have highlights from that game, quality highlights from that game, coming from Watt Mosby Memorial Stadium in Anniston. We told you that Randolph County and Sacs, this was going to be a tremendous game as far as what happens in Class 3A Region 4. This game has gone to overtime now. They are in overtime in Wedowee, and here we go. 34-34. Randolph County and Sacs, 34-34. That game is in overtime now. Sacs had a big lead. They were up 34-18 at one time. Randolph County brought it all the way back, and now it's 34-34 as they go into overtime. Also tonight, Geraldine beats Ohatchee 28-0, the final score in that game up at Coolidge-Isbell Stadium in Geraldine. Alexandria, the Valley Cubs, on the road tonight in Odenville. They beat St. Clair County. No problem for the Cubs. They were up at one time 47-7 in this game. They win it 54-26 over the Saints. Another game that we'll have highlights from. It was homecoming in Heflin tonight, and Heflin hung in there. This was a 21-9 game midway through the third quarter, but Jacksonville pulls away late, and they beat Cleburne County tonight. Jacksonville, number 7 in Class 4A, beating Cleburne County 41-15. Tough loss for the Pleasant Valley Raiders tonight at home against Locust Fork. Key game in Class 2A Region 6. Pleasant Valley really needing a win as far as trying to get a playoff berth, but Locust Fork denies them late, and Locust Fork comes into Pleasant Valley. They beat the Raiders 21-14, the final. Ranburne and Vincent still looking for a final in this game from Ranburne. Vincent was up big in this game. Number 8 team in the state in Class 2A still looking for a final from over at Harlan Robinson Stadium. Central Coosa and Woodland playing down at Hanover in Coosa County tonight, still looking for a final on that game. Also, Terry Heflin of Central of Clay County with a long touchdown run late in the game last night. Central of Clay County beats the Valley Rams in the Valley last night, 12-6 the final, as Central gets a huge win in Class 5A Region 4 play. Beauregard last night, number 9 team in the state, on a collision course in a couple of weeks with Central of Clay, probably for a region title. Beauregard last night, no problem with Sylacauga as the Hornets win 38-7 down in Lee County. B.B. Comer and Isabella, top game in the state in Class 2A. Number 5 Isabella, number 9 B.B. Comer playing in Sylacauga tonight at Legion Stadium, still looking for a final on that game. Last night, it was Thorsby beating Fayetteville 22-18. We don't have that up for you, but Thorsby did beat Fayetteville 22-18, the final score. Closer game than folks thought. Thorsby came in at 4-1, Fayetteville at 0-5, but Thorsby leaves 5-1, and Fayetteville falls to 0-6. Alabama School for the Deaf playing Grace Baptist Academy out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. That is the game being played tonight in Talladega. Still looking for a final on that game. Also, Spring Garden, number 7 team in the state in 1A, at home tonight. This game was originally planned to be played down at Howells Cove. Because of some of the race weekend things, Talladega County Central wanted to switch the game to Spring Garden, so they played at Jason Howard Stadium tonight. Spring Garden wins the game 44-12. We will be joined on After the Game coming up in about 10 minutes by the head coach of the Spring Garden Panthers, Coach Jason Howard. Also last night, we'll bring you highlights of this game. Munford beating Lincoln. Last year, Lincoln wins at Lincoln 69-13. Now it was in reverse. Munford last night 42-9 over the Lincoln Golden Bears. We will have highlights of that game, and we'll have post-game reaction coming from Munford head coach Michael Easley and also the outstanding quarterback for the Munford Lions, Sylvester Smith. They will be with us here on After the Game. Moody remains, let's go back to Victory Christian and Ragland, still looking for a final in that game. That is a key game as well in Class 1A Region 6. Now we'll talk about Moody and Springville. Moody remains undefeated, the number 4 team in 5A at home tonight. They beat the Springville Tigers 53-14. Asheville and Fulton Dell still looking for a final in that game from over at Kent Logan Stadium at Asheville. Also, it was Sandrock beating Sandrock and North Sand Mountain meeting tonight at Sandrock, still looking for a final score in that game. Last night, Galesville picks up their first win of the year as Galesville beats Woodville 54-6, the final in that game. Valley Head over Cedar Bluff tonight. That was by a score of 34-6. Valley Head beats Cedar Bluff. Huge win for the Tigers. They remain undefeated in the Battle of Tigers. Valley Head over Cedar Bluff 34-6. Also tonight, Gaston, big win for the Gaston Bulldogs, a region win as well. In Class 2A Region 6, Gaston picks up win number 2. We will have highlights of this game coming from Shinbone Ridge out at Gaston, as we will have Gaston's win over Holly Pond, 28-26. Highlights of that game coming. Also highlights of this was a key game as far as playoff berths go in Class 3A Region 6 tonight. Hoax Bluff, very, very impressive. At home, they beat Plainview 28-0. We will have highlights of that game coming from Hoax Bluff. Huge win for the Eagles, probably going to put the Eagles in the playoffs. Sylvania tonight, rolling over Glencoe 42-7 up at Sylvania. Big game in Class 5A tonight at Leeds, Homer Smiles Field. Number 2 Leeds remains undefeated, setting up the showdown coming up in a couple of weeks with the Moody Blue Devils. Leeds beat Southside tonight. It was homecoming at Leeds. Leeds over Southside 24-6. Gadsden City on the road. This score just coming in. The Titans looking for a region title. They took a big step towards that, beating Hazel Green 37-7 tonight up in Madison County at Hazel Green. This will surprise a lot of folks. Etowah tonight goes into Gilbert Stadium in Aniana. They knock off number 5 and previously unbeaten Aniana. Aniana has not beaten Etowah since 1944, and they did not do it again tonight. Etowah dominating the Redskins 31-7 as Etowah wins at Aniana. Douglas and Sardis still looking for a final score in that game. Douglas was up late in the game, 35-8 over Sardis. Still looking for a final in that game, but it looks like Douglas is going to go to 4-2. Around the state tonight, big game in Class 1A, number 3 versus number 4, Linden and Sweetwater playing down at Linden City Stadium. Muscle Shoals and Hartselle tonight. Great game up at Muscle Shoals. Hartselle, who for the last 2 weeks has been here in East Alabama. They beat Gadsden City 2 weeks ago. They beat Oxford last week. And tonight they go on the road again for the 3rd week in a row, and they beat Muscle Shoals 29-26, the final score. Number 6 Hartselle winning at number 8 Muscle Shoals tonight. Huge game in Class 7A. Thompson and Hewitt Trustville. Huge region game in Class 7A Region 3. Number 3 Thompson hangs on again for the 2nd week in a row. They beat the Northeast Jefferson County teams. They beat Clay Chalkville last week 17-14. They hang on tonight and beat Hewitt Trustville 14-12, the final from down at Thompson. Last night, Central Phoenix City, number 5 in 7A, beating number 8 Dothan 35-28, the final. And a sellout. They did not let anyone else in the game tonight at Duck Sanford Stadium in Auburn. Big arch rivals. They were expecting over 7,000 people tonight for Auburn and Opelika. Number 1 Auburn beating number 9 Opelika 51-29. And we do have the final score in on that Sacs and Randolph County game down in Wedowee. A wild game tonight. In overtime, Randolph County goes for 2 and they make it, and Randolph County beats the Sacs Wildcats tonight. Heartbreaking loss for Sacs because they were up 34-18 at one time. Sacs are reigning Ted's Carpet and Floor Team of the Week. We were out there this afternoon as Sacs was getting ready to head down to Wedowee. Tough loss for Sacs. Randolph County remains undefeated as Randolph County wins over the Sacs Wildcats in overtime 42-41. Lots of ways to connect with us here on After the Game. You can go to our website, highschoolfootballalabama.com. If you want to check out old programs, check out the schedule of all the games coming up each week, and a lot of information about High School Football Alabama. You can do that at highschoolfootballalabama.com. Also, you can watch the show at High School Football Alabama on Facebook. Also, you can watch us on YouTube at High School Football Alabama. All you have to do, you can look up High School Football Alabama. You can look up Jon Holder on YouTube. And all of our shows will come up there, and you can watch the show on YouTube. It's so easy. Everybody was telling me today about how easy this is just on your smart TV. Just go to the YouTube app, go search Jon Holder, High School Football Alabama. After the game, it'll all come up, and you can watch it right there uninterrupted. Same way with Facebook. Go to High School Football Alabama on Facebook. Also, some great content on our Facebook page throughout the week. You'll get up to date on award winners and all kinds of great high school football information at High School Football Alabama on Facebook. One of the great sponsors of High School Football Alabama is Pee Wee Turner Motors, located on South Quintard in Anniston. Family owned since 1969. If you are interested in a quality late model vehicle, they have the various area's best inventory of cars, SUVs, and trucks. Doesn't matter. They have guaranteed credit approval. So if you have no credit, bad credit, good credit, they'll get you financed. Visit the website, peeweeturnermotors.net. When we come back on After the Game, we'll have all kinds of coaches, scores, highlights, award winners, all of that coming as we take you till 12 midnight here on Facebook and YouTube on After the Game.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did. When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Hi, this is Jimmy Newman from Oxford Lumber. I've kicked off many times in my football days, and that's an exciting play. When you're ready to kick off your next building or remodeling project, let us make sure you start your project off right, with the right material at the right price so you can score big and get the job done. Stop by and see our local guys with over 60 years of experience serving you. Come by any one of our 4 locations in Oxford, Talladega, Jacksonville, or Roanoke. And don't forget about our low price guarantee.
Cash back. Plain and simple. That's what you'll get on the Noble Bank Cash Back account. No tricks, no gimmicky names. Just free accounts that pay you cash back. If unlimited transactions, fraud protection, and refunds on ATM withdrawal fees nationwide sounds like your kind of banking, visit us at noblebank.com and learn more about the Noble Cashback account. Welcome to personal banking. Welcome to Noble Bank and Trust. noblebank.com. Member FDIC.
We're just past 10 o'clock here at High School Football Alabama after the game presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Jon Holder, Gerhard Mathangani, and Coach Michael Short will be along shortly. Right now, though, we're going to catch up on some scores later on. But before that, we've got the head coach of the Spring Garden Panthers, Coach Jason Howard, I believe, is standing by. He's via Skype with us tonight from out at Spring Garden. Spring Garden tonight playing Talladega County Central, a big game in Class 1A Region 6. And I think we've got Coach Howard standing by. Coach, good evening. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good, John. Y'all doing all right?
We're doing great, Coach. Tonight, Talladega County Central in town. You win the game 44-12. Another, not only a big win for your team, but a big region win. Tell us about the game tonight with TCC.
I felt like the kids played well tonight. We talked all week about, TC sort of in a rebuilding structure that they're going through right now. We talked about playing up to our standard and, dictating sort of the pace of the game and everything. And I felt like our starters did that. And then after that, we was able to get some young kids in and play, and they executed real well. So I'll give us some film on them. So I think it was very positive, and going down the road, it'll help us out.
Coach, always good to play at home. This game originally back in the summer was scheduled to be played at TCC, but race weekend is kind of crazy in Talladega County, so I think they called you, and for a variety of reasons, they wanted to come play at your place, and I'm sure you were just fine with that.
We was. They actually had called with the coaching turnover and everything, and it was scheduled to be played tonight. They called and said, hey, we got to move it Thursday because we cannot have security or anything there because of the race. And you'll know about this. We had our big fundraiser for the school, Evening in the Garden, that our foundation does last night. So there's no way we could move it. So, we just came to the agreement that they had come up here this year and we'll go down there next year.
Yeah, you can't mess with a night in the garden, Coach. I know all about that. That's for sure. It's a big fundraising event. Let's talk about your team this year, Coach. You lost a lot of folks last year. You lost numbers and you lost experience, but you came right off the bat in that first game with Sandrock and were very, very impressive. You had told me, we talked earlier in the summer, and you said it may take us a while. I'm a little bit concerned about early in the season these young guys getting experience. I think as they get experience, they'll be fine. And obviously, your team, this young bunch and guys that maybe you don't have as much depth or experience as you've had in the past, but they obviously, Coach, have responded very, very well this season.
They have. I mean, our dynamics have changed a little bit. A bunch of people said we're back to where, we were whenever we was running football all the time. It's not necessarily that we're back doing that right there. We're still, doing the things we've done the past couple of years, but we just don't have the explosive receivers and everything. Those guys, we're having to change it. We are a little more run-oriented this year, losing a couple of our playmakers that we lost that was on the edge last year. We don't have as much speed. But I feel like our offensive line is one of our strong points, and they've came around and blocked really well for us.
Coach, your region changed a little bit this year. You're still in North Alabama, but you're playing teams more to the south this year. You're playing Wadleys and Winterboroughs, and as you played tonight, TCC and Victory and folks like that. Your region, obviously we're already halfway through. You've played a number of region games. Just kind of your assessment of this relatively new region that you're in this year.
Well, actually, John, it's the same region we was in last time was 1A. Our last 2 years in 1A, we got shifted down there with them. So we was in this exact region minus Wadley. The last 2 years was 1A. But it is a change. I mean, we're up here in the north with the Cedar Bluffs, Coosa, those guys, and Yellsville, Valley Head, that traditionally we was in that region. And now we've got shifted down there. So a very competitive region. I mean, I think this is a, very competitive region, especially on the top end of it. And I think going into the playoffs, that right there will be beneficial for, all the teams that's in it.
Coach, just looking at the face of it, I would think that this region, as we've seen a lot of regions and a lot of different classifications in this part of the state, you come out of this region, you've got a really good chance of going very deep in the playoffs, as Spring Garden has been doing in both 1A and, as you mentioned, the last couple of years in Class 2A. You've made deep playoff runs. 11 and 12 win seasons have now become the norm over the last 4 or 5 years at Spring Garden. To do that again, to make a deep playoff run, and I know one of the ultimate goals is to try to make it to a Super 7 or something like that. What's got to happen maybe with this team to make that deep playoff run again this year?
Our defense is playing real well. We're going to lean on that. And we're going to have to get a little more balanced on offense, and we're going to have to eliminate negative plays and get to where, we can stay ahead of the chains and everything. And eliminate turnovers. I mean, the games that we've struggled in, we've turned the ball over in.
Coach, let's talk about some of the individual players on the team this year. Who have been some of the guys standing out? Obviously, you've got another Pope there at quarterback. I think it begins there. But you've had maybe some new names that high school football fans in East Alabama are not accustomed to. But really, as we mentioned out from that Sandrock game right out of the gate, you've had some guys that maybe didn't have really much of experience, maybe not household names that have really stepped to the forefront kind of right off the bat for you.
We have. Connor Bates just came in and filled a role at tailback for us, and he's averaging over 100 yards a game. Of course, Chappell, like you said, at quarterback, but Matthias Williams has really came on. He was one of our experienced linemen that we had coming back, and he's sort of taken charge of that offensive line and helped those guys that are the younger ones that are coming in. He's helped them, and the ones that didn't have that much experience, he's sort of been the leader of that offensive line, and he's playing really, really solid for us right now. Braxton Haney at the receiving spots playing well for us, and then Cam Welch is playing at fullback and defensive end for us, and he's playing really well. And then we got a lot of others that's contributing different times. John Welch, Jacob Dempsey, Tanner Ruward. I mean, we got, different ones that are fitting into their roles now and really stepping up and playing well for us.
Coach, since we spoke here on After the Game last football season, something significant has happened at Spring Garden. I know what you're going to say because you and I have talked about this before, but the stadium, they named the stadium at Spring Garden after you. It's now Jason Howard Stadium there at Panther Field. And I know you don't want to take any credit for that, but Coach, just kind of take me through, because most folks in a lifetime, they don't have things named for them, especially something significant like a football stadium. And it's kind of late at night and you're just out there and maybe it's just you. And you ever ponder that you've got a football stadium that's named after you? Is that something that you ever thought when you were growing up in Ohatchee, Alabama, that would be something that could ever happen?
I really did. And actually, it's Panther Stadium and it's Jason Howard Field there on that. But, it's a great honor. I mean, it is. My mom told me one time, said, as long as you've been there, they should name that field after your son. I said, Mom, I ain't in no hurry for it, because most of the time that happens when you're dead. I said, so if they do that, I really don't want the alternative to me to have to, be dead, not allowed. But, I've never really just sat down and thought about it, to be honest with you. Had no idea they was doing it. They did it at a basketball game last year, and I had no idea. The administration here kept it from me. Mr. Cloudis and them kept it from me. My wife kept it from me, which worries me a little bit that she's able to speak from me. You know how that goes. But we was at the basketball game. My mom shows up, and I'm like, what's she doing at that basketball game? And her and my nephews came in, and then Mr. Welch presented it to me. And it is a huge honor. I mean, this place is home. I did grow up in Ohatchee, but Spring Garden's really, Cherokee County in general, Spring Garden's home to me. I mean, it just feels right to be up here, to be honest with you. And, I left, went back to Ohatchee, and it was one of them things that just wasn't really a good fit when I did, because this was more like home for me up here. So, to feel that way about this place and then to have that honor, I mean, for them to do that was a huge honor for me.
Coach, our final question. I always try to ask coaches this year a fun question. So here's the fun question for you. Speaking about growing up, when you were growing up, what did you want to be? When you were a little kid growing up, did you want to be a football coach? Did you see yourself doing this? Or when you were like third, fourth grade, what was Jason Howard's dream? What did you see yourself being when you were, quote unquote, a grown up or an adult?
I remember the Boston Celtics. What else? I wanted to play with McHale, Bird, DJ, all them guys right there. So I was a huge Celtic fan, and I guess at them young ages, and then reality sets in when you start to get up there and you 250-pound, 5'10" guy that can't move that fast. You start thinking, I'm probably not going to play with Bird in my lifetime. So.
Well, Coach, I'm sure the folks in Spring Garden are very glad that you did not make it on the Boston Celtics team and you became the head football coach at Spring Garden, most successful coach, obviously, in Spring Garden history, having another great season. Congratulations on the win tonight. Best wishes to you the rest of the season. Thank you for joining us here on After the Game.
Okay, John. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for everything you do.
Jason Howard, head football coach of the Spring Garden Panthers. Spring Garden wins tonight over Talladega County Central out at the Garden at Jason Howard Field at Panther Stadium. They win the game 44-12. Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware, that's the place you need to go tomorrow because, hey, we got some great football coming up tomorrow. It's a beautiful weekend, great weekend to grill out, any outdoor activity. Have you heard about all the grills they have down there? You can go down there and buy a grill even tomorrow morning. They will assemble that for you. They will put that thing together. They'll load it up. They'll bring it to your house, and you'll be ready and set to go for all the great football and outdoor activities coming up this weekend. That's not all they have. Anything you need, from building a house to just a small home improvement, everything you need. Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware, 4 locations here in East Alabama to serve you in Jacksonville, in Oxford, in Talladega, and in Roanoke. When we come back, more final scores and a whole lot more as we roll on a Football Friday night presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
My dad taught me to fish right here years ago. But when an old sports injury started slowing him down, I knew we'd need to search for the latest procedures in knee and hip replacement, with physical therapy tailored to his needs. a dedicated team of doctors and nurses. And he'd want a fast recovery time. So where'd he find all that?
Right here at RMC.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Anniston Orthopedics continues to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping our players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics offers our Saturday morning sports injury clinic from 8 to 10 a.m. throughout the high school football season. Anniston Orthopedics also offers full-service physical therapy and occupational therapy departments. To learn more, visit our website at www.annistonortho.com. Anniston Orthopedics, located in the Tyler Center adjacent to RMC.
Your home is a reflection of you, whether that's classic, farm style, or something unique. We at Ted's Carpet and Floor understand that, and we'll help you through the selection, finance, and installation process. We have an extensive selection of designer tiles, carpet, laminate, and hardwood. Let us help you choose the perfect granite or quartz to customize your kitchen or bathroom. We offer free in-home measurements, estimates, and design consultations. Ted's Carpet and Floor, your style, our passion.
Are you ready for some football? Come in all month long and take a test drive at Team 1 Chevrolet and have a chance to win an Alabama, Auburn tailgate, or the ultimate tailgate package. Log on to ChevroletofGadsden.com for complete details. Chevrolet of Gadsden, where everyone's a winner. Someone's going to win an Alabama tailgate, someone's going to win an Auburn tailgate, and somebody's going to win the ultimate grand prize, including grill, generator, and big screen TV. Chevrolet of Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period.
We are back on high school football Alabama after the game. Time now to go back to our Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware scoreboard. We now have all the final scores, I think, except for one that we're working on right now. Last night, Piedmont over Westbrook Christian 34-0. Also from last night, White Plains beat Talladega 48-14. Another score from last night, Donahoe with a goal line stand beat Winterboro 28-20. We will have highlights of all three of those games coming up on after the game. Tonight, Oxford over Pell City 38-13. Welborn wins on the road at Childersburg 46-26. Highlights of this game, Anniston, number 4 in the state, in 4A, beating number 2 in 4A Hanley 32-7. Jay Haynes, the outstanding running back, did not play in that game. In overtime, Randolph County beat Sax 42-41. Sax led 34-18. Randolph County tied it 34-34. They went to overtime. In overtime, Sax scored. Then Randolph County scored. Randolph County went for 2, and Randolph County wins to remain undefeated as they beat Sax tonight down at Hewlin-Humphrey Stadium in Wedowee 42-41. Geraldine shutting out Ohatchee 28-0 tonight up at Coolidge-Isbell Stadium in Geraldine. Alexandria beat St. Clair County 54-26. Jacksonville over Cleburne County 41-15. Highlights of that game coming on after the game. Tough loss for Pleasant Valley tonight. Locust Fork wins 21-14. Vincent, this is a new score. We do have this as a final. It's not there on the screen yet, but Vincent beat Ranburne tonight at Ranburne. Key game in 2A Region 4. Vincent, number 8 team in the state in 2A, beating Ranburne 54-21. Vincent 54, Ranburne 21 is the final. Woodland and Central of Coosa. Woodland wins on the road at Hanover 39-26. Last night, Central of Clay County upends Valley 12-6. Also last night, Beauregard over Sylacauga 38-7. Tonight, big game. This probably the region title game in that 2A Region 4. Number 9 BB Comer at home at Legion Stadium in Sylacauga, beating number 5 and previously unbeaten Isabella tonight. BB Comer beats them by 30, 52-22. Thorsby, a winner over Fayetteville last night, 22-18. The one score where no, we don't have it. Amato Ortiz is all over it. Grace Baptist Academy out of Chattanooga. They come into Kiwanis Field in Talladega, and they beat ASD tonight 58-22. That is the first loss of the year for the Silent Warriors. The Golden Eagles come in and get the win. We now have all the scores. Spring Garden beating Talladega County Central 44-12. Last night, Munford over Lincoln 42-9. Highlights of that game on the way. Ragland, this is a new score. Huge win for the Purple Devils in Pell City tonight. They beat Victory Christian 46-7. Moody remains undefeated with a 53-14 win over Springville. Asheville tonight, this is a new score. They have beaten Fultondale 38-7. North Sand Mountain, this is a new score. Wins at Sandrock 49-13. Galesville last night picks up win number 1 as they beat Woodville 54-6. Valley Head all but wrapped up the region title tonight in Class 1A Region 7. Number 6 Valley Head remains undefeated as they beat Cedar Bluff 34-6. Gaston wins against Holly Pond 28-26. Highlights of that game coming from Shinbone Ridge. Hoax Bluff shut out Plainview 28-0 tonight. We will have highlights of that game. Sylvania beating Glencoe 42-7. Leeds on homecoming rolls over Southside 24-6. Gadsden City remains undefeated in region play in Class 6A Region 8 as they shut down Hazel Green tonight 37-7. Etowah all over the Aniana Redskins. We're going to talk a lot about this game later on with Jacob Kelly from Cherokee County. Etowah beats number 5 Aniana at Gilbert Stadium in Aniana tonight 31-7. This is a new score. Douglas wins their 4th game as they beat Sardis 49-8. This also a new score, the top game in 1A tonight. Number 3 Linden beating number 4 Sweetwater 28-7. Hartselle wins at Muscle Shoals 29-26. Thompson, for the 2nd week in a row, wins a squeaker as they beat Hewitt Trussville 14-12. Last night, Central of Phoenix City, top 10 matchup in 7A. They win at Rip Hughes Stadium in Dothan over the Dothan Wolves 35-28. And tonight, it was Auburn-Opelika, big rival game at Doug Sanford Stadium in Auburn. Number 1 Auburn remains undefeated as they win 51-29. We are about to begin voting in about an hour and 40 minutes for our next Spirit Scholarship nominees from Farmers and Merchants Bank. And here's how that works as we roll through this football season. Every week we'll have different schools where you'll be voting from 4 scholar athletes from each school. The final 30 to the top 2 from each school get a $50 gift card courtesy of Farmers and Merchants Bank. This is every school in Calhoun County plus Spring Garden. Then the top 2 athletes chosen by you at our High School Football Alabama Facebook page will each receive a $1,500 scholarship that we will present right here live on After the Game coming up on Veterans Day night on November the 11th. So here are the schools we're going to be voting for beginning at midnight tonight. We're going to be talking 2 schools this week, Ohatchee and Sachs. With Ohatchee, the female nominees are Hannah Fitch. She is a volleyball and softball player with a 4.1 GPA. Also, we have Katie Tillison. She's a cheerleader, also with a 4.1 GPA. The male nominees from Ohatchee High School include basketball player Eli Team with a 3.67 GPA and also Chris Ferguson, a football and track star for Ohatchee with a 4.2 GPA. All you have to do is go to High School Football Alabama, click like the favorite picture there. That's how you vote for these 4 student athletes from Ohatchee High School. Also this week, we're going to be voting for Sachs High School, Daniela Escandon Paredes, volleyball and softball soccer player, a 4.12 GPA. The other female nominee is Abigail Ramirez, a volleyball and soccer player as well, with a 3.51 GPA. The 2 male athletes from Sachs High School are football player Kristen Wright with a 2.87 GPA, and also we have football, basketball, wrestling, and cross-country standout Trent Hopkins. He carries a 4.08 GPA. Again, you can go to High School Football Alabama and go to our Facebook page, and you just like on the picture of the one that you want to vote for. That begins at midnight tonight, and that will roll all the way until 12 noon next Friday, October the 7th. Farmers and Merchants Bank, we have been telling you about the new Spirit cards coming out for every school in Calhoun County plus Spring Garden. These are new vertical cards. You'll see those on the commercials we'll be airing for Farmers and Merchants Bank throughout the night. They have locations all across Calhoun County, coming soon to Center, and they have given away $20,000 in scholarship money over the last several years, and they'll give away $3,000 more coming up in about a month and a half right here on After the Game. Time for our first Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden extra point. Central Florence scored on the final play of the game last week and then scored a 2-point conversion to win 70-69 over Westminster Christian of Huntsville. This was not in overtime, folks. The game produced 3 all-time AHSAA state records, including most first downs in the game, most points scored by both teams in the fourth quarter, and most points in a loss. The winning touchdown was a pass that traveled 30 yards into the end zone, was batted into the air and caught for the touchdown. Of course it was, to pull Central to within 1 at 69-68. Central then scored the 2-point conversion to seal the win. We come back, Cherokee County High School football coach Jacob Kelly live on After the Game.
Hi, this is Jimmy Newman from Oxford Lumber. I've kicked off many times in my football days, and that's an exciting play. When you're ready to kick off your next building or remodeling project, let us make sure you start your project off right, with the right material at the right price so you can score big and get the job done. Stop by and see our local guys with over 60 years of experience serving you. Come by any one of our 4 locations in Oxford, Talladega, Jacksonville, Roanoke, and don't forget about our low price guarantee.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Cash back. Plain and simple. That's what you'll get on the Noble Bank Cash Back account. No tricks, no gimmicky names, just free accounts that pay you cash back. If unlimited transactions, fraud protection, and refunds on ATM withdrawal fees nationwide sounds like your kind of banking, visit us at noblebank.com and learn more about the Noble Cash Back account. Welcome to personal banking. Welcome to Noble Bank and Trust. Noblebank.com. Member FDIC.
There's a lot to think about when you're having a baby. Colors of the nursery, names, and most importantly, where to deliver.
We want a hospital that gives families a more personalized birthing experience.
With a compassionate team of doctors and nurses, and a hospital where my baby and I can instantly bond with all the comforts of home.
So where do we find all that?
Right here at RMC, the first designated baby-friendly hospital in Alabama.
Anniston Orthopedics continues to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping our players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics offers our Saturday morning sports injury clinic from 8 to 10 a.m. throughout the high school football season. Anniston Orthopedics also offers full-service physical therapy and occupational therapy departments. To learn more, visit our website at www.annistonortho.com. Anniston Orthopedics, located in the Tyler Center adjacent to RMC.
That. You also will be getting this. This is our and actual there I am. That's Anniston Jack Stewart Orthopedics. Field at Sachs today. They are reigning Ted's Carpet and Floor Team of the Week, handing out the Anniston Orthopedics score shirts with a score of the game where they beat BB Comer 28-0 last week. And turn that around and show them the oohs and ahs from the Sachs players out there today. You see the smiles on their faces. We also had the Ted's cheerleaders. Our guest here in just a moment knows about the Ted's cheerleaders. They made an appearance up in Center a couple of weeks ago. They were there today as well. Sachs Wildcats winning 28-0 over BB Comer last week. They are reigning Ted's Carpet and Floor Team of the Week. They got a T-shirt from Ted's Carpet and Floor. There's Cherokee County former star Cole Sterling there. Present our trophy. I didn't break it this week like I did at Hoax Bluff last week. And there's even our Grub Mart Muscle Team guys. We'll tell you about them a little bit later on in the show. That were from Sachs. I'm a little bit scared there the way Cole was holding our Tough Guy trophy, but you see him present that to the Sachs Wildcats there. They took good care of it. Cole told him, hold this thing like a football. You hold it like a baby, and there you go. Sachs, our Team of the Week. Ted's Carpet and Floor, great folks, by the way. They bring you our Team of the Week, and they did some work for me. They did work for Coach Short this summer as well. Ted's Carpet and Floor, the place to go. If you're looking for flooring, carpeting, any kind of needs like that, really there's no other place to go in East Alabama. Ted's Carpet and Floor, great showroom. They just renovated that on U.S. Highway 431 there in Sachs. Great website to go to, newly renovated website. Check them out. Ted's Carpet and Floor, great supporters of high school football and high school football Alabama. On this Football Friday night, we've alluded a couple of times to Coach Jacob Kelly, head coach of the Cherokee County Warriors. Had an open date tonight. Coach, welcome in. Glad to have you with us on After the Game.
I appreciate y'all having me. It's weird getting to relax for a little bit after the grind that we've been on, and usually, at least the last couple of years, we've been off week 10. So it's a little bit of a different feel, being right here in the middle of the season, so to speak. But a lot of good football played tonight. A lot of, at least in our region, big important games with playoff implications. You got Anniston, Hanley right down the road. That's always been a big game just coming from that region last year. So, it was good to spend some time with the family, good to focus on ourselves this week, and so ready to get back here on the home stretch and finish second half of the season strong.
Yeah, it's a big one. Bring in Gerhard Mathangani and Coach Michael Short with us for the first time this evening. Guys, I said, and Coach didn't like what I did because he told me about it. I was speaking to the Cherokee County football team early in the season, and in our magazine, I had them pick number 2 in the state and had them picked to go to the Super 7. And the first thing that Coach Kelly, the first time I saw him after that, I said, I know. I held up the number 2 and I said, I know you didn't like that too much. You said that Aniana had requested a bunch of film and folks were you got everybody's attention after that number 2 ranking in the preseason. So I put the monkey on your back.
I thought we weren't going to talk about that anymore. but I thought it was a joke when somebody had screenshot it and sent it to me. But it really was a testament to how far we've come in a short amount of time. In three years. But it was funny because being from Georgia, we always kind of have some border war games early on in the season if we can line them up and. Going against Tryon, going against Munford, and then not Munford Model, and then them playing some Georgia teams. My buddies in Georgia online there were calling me and mispronouncing Aniana and saying, "Hey, who is this school requesting film?" And so it was pretty funny.
I mean, obviously, the preseason is one thing, and then you have to get it done on the field. You got off to a nice start, and you've won 2 straight, and 3 of the last 4 games, you've put up north of 45 points. What are some of the things you've seen from your offensive unit so far? Your defense is also playing very well. We can touch on that in a moment, but offensively, it seems like you guys have a nice little thing going.
Well, we made some adjustments on the O-line, just moving some guys around, not really like firing anybody, but just kind of moving some pieces around, trying to get our best 5 or 6 or 7 or best unit available that can execute what we're trying to do against the scheme that we're going against every week, whether it's 3-4, whether it's a 4-man front, even front, odd front, whatever. Just moving some guys around after Aniana. A lot of times when you're winning, when you're you never know anything's broke until you face a little adversity. And so we felt like not necessarily exposed a little bit in the Aniana game, but we felt like we needed to fix ourselves a little bit. We were up in the game, but we just had too many mistakes, too many mis-execution. A lot of that is self-inflicted. But the last 2 weeks we felt like we've made the right moves, and so we're ready to roll. We're healthy. We've worked on ourselves this week, and so like I said, we're looking forward to this home stretch here in the last couple of weeks.
Coach, I always can remember back when we had our off week, and I was going to ask you. That was always as soon as that we watched our film from our last game, then you got the next week off. But that was our self-evaluation week. Go ahead and self-scout. Is that something that y'all have done as far as probably not this, but last weekend you self-scouted yourself and would move forward from there? You kind of almost answered
definitely,
the question.
Definitely. When we gave the kids Monday off, which we're in the weight room every day anyway, fourth block. I've got the whole football team. They come to us, and so we hit it hard in the weight room. Ran. We had a B team game, middle school game Monday, but after we did the weights and conditioned them, we sent the varsity guys home. And then Tuesday coming back, we definitely, from a defensive standpoint, went in there and watched a lot of film. Just, and realistically, we're in position the majority of the time, but it's the little things, the fundamental stuff, not getting lined up right, and then going against somebody like Sylvester Smith from Munford. He just has a tendency of making you look bad, no matter whether you line up right, whether you line up wrong. A lot of times, facing somebody as good of an athlete as he is, he can make you look bad. And so definitely working on us, getting lined up, work on, different things. I'm not going to reveal too much, but just things that we've did over the course of the season to try to eliminating penalties, ball security, missed tackles, and then always just physicality. We had one padded practice this week, and that was Thursday, and it was short, but I mean we got after it, and it was good to see those guys just get after each other. And, I think the good teams that I've been on, that I've coached, can get after each other every single day, break it down at the end, go in the locker room, and learn how to make each other better, but at the same time go to war together.
Yeah, and the thing about it is if you're having to scream and holler to get those guys to be physical, you're probably not going to have a great season anyway.
No, it's not, and we do. We do have to turn up the volume here and there, but a lot of the time, the guys are looking forward to those type of days. And when you got a team that's looking forward to, whatever we're doing, half line board drills inside, team runs, team pass, stop in the middle and go back to the boards. Just getting it out there. You're dealing with teenagers, and a lot of times, on the good ones. You'll have situations that will present themselves to work it out on the field, and so we welcome that, and so
that's the good practices.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like I said, the best practice we had was Thursday, and it was short and it was sweet. So I don't really want to go a whole 2 weeks without feeling the intensity of a Friday night. So we definitely got that out Thursday, and I know the guys are looking forward to getting back after it the next week. We go to Fultondale, and then we'll be back at home for 2 games, and so we're looking forward to the home stretch here.
Coach, a senior quarterback, and what you would expect from that guy, Cade Hopper, had a good season last year, but this year it seems like he's taken his game to even another level, which you would expect from a guy who's coming into his senior year. Just tell us about the year he's had so far.
Well, he's just eliminated the things that last year put us in a position to not be in the game or not necessarily to lose the game, but make it hard for us. And that's the biggest thing is turning the ball over, making bad decisions, trying to do too much. And where we're at right now, all he's got to do is what we ask him to do, take what defense gives, and it's our job to call the right plays, to get our playmakers in space, and try to make his job as easy as can be. And I will say this, the last couple of weeks, we've been firing pretty good in all cylinders, and it's because everything that I'm sending his way, he understands exactly what I'm thinking. And so, just by a facial expression or a hand going up or just a look, if my guy understands what I'm trying to get to him, a lot of times we're clicking, and that's the thing with Cade is we're going to work on the things during the week that we're going to try to do on Friday night, and if it's not working in the first half, we're going to try to make adjustments at halftime, and that's really not been the case a lot, So this year, he's just done a tremendous job, one in the off season of putting his body in the best shape, and he a lot of times with the kids I've had in the past, I have to hunt them. I have to, drive, go find them, like get on their phones, call their mom, call their cousins, like where are they at? I'm over here, ready to do some speed work, ready to get a throwing session in, like where Cade finds work. And, today I killed him in the weight room. We had a great end of the week lift. We're wrapping it up. I've got this little family night, thing planned for the off night before I came down here, because my house, if we ain't at a game, they're wrapping it up about 8 o'clock. So they'll see this later for sure. But I'm leaving the field house. Cade and a couple of receivers out there throwing.
Wow.
Just getting it in. He will find work. So he's also special because he's been with me the whole time. And so, this senior bunch I've had from the time they became freshmen till now. And so, I'm proud of them. I'm excited for what they've done for this program. I'm very appreciative for them buying in to what I was selling when I interviewed for the job, when I was hired to take the program over. And so I couldn't have done anything without them buying in and then continuing what the seniors before them have kind of laid down. And so they definitely made their mark. And I know they're not done yet. They're still hungry for more. And so, like I said, they're ready to finish this thing heading in the right direction.
And Cade's making the defense's job really easy. They're giving up, on average, less than 2 touchdowns a game. Speak to this defense and what you will need from them as you close out the regular season and as you try to make that big run.
Well, they thrive a little bit on competition too. I will say that our overall team defensive speed has improved from the recent years. And, our biggest thing is just finishing. And so a lot of times we're so aggressive that we over pursue. We put ourselves in a position to not be able to make the tackle when we're there, just, breaking down, just doing the little things. Yeah. Motions, adjustments, shifts, different formations, just being able to see what we're looking at, make the right calls. Same thing like Cade, those defensive guys, Jacob, Hayden Wheeler, Alex Lloyd, Tristan Brown, that linebacking core that can identify where the strength is, making the strength and getting everybody lined up, and then having the mental aspect of it, that if you know they're wrong in front of you, what are you doing by letting the ball snap without even trying to fix it? Just little things like that. Yeah. And so that's the kind of things we worked on this week. The back view, which I'm not sure that we had when I was in high school, which was like 99 to 03. But the back view is a game changer.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is.
For multiple reasons.
Oh, yeah.
So you can, as a coach on Friday nights, you pop it on. Sometimes you're like, what were we doing? On both sides of the ball.
Where were we at?
And every phase of the game, it's like, what? Wow, we put in something new this week. But it's great to be able to show that to the guys, and so it's no different. The defense, like I said, they've done a great job this year at forcing turnovers and just being fast to the ball and just being hungry, just being we'll give up a little bit, but we play the red area pretty good. I think that's an improvement in the past, especially on long drives. The biggest telltale for us early on was in our scrimmage game with Trine. We went up on them like 14-0 in I think the first quarter, and defense was on the field because we scored quick, or maybe they got some turnovers and we didn't have like long drives. But they got on the drive and it was like 15 plays and it was just boom, 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 boom. And they got inside the 10. And in the past, our teams have been just like, man, I'm tired, kind of give it up, just easy scores or what they're at the end. They ran a play and we closed on those dudes, popped the ball out, got the ball, forced turnovers in the red zone. That's the biggest difference is just the overall mentality of the guys, just being hard-nosed, not giving up, just, whatever's going on, having the mental toughness to just, hey, next play, got to play. And that's probably the biggest difference in the previous teams and now.
Coach, you had, we were talking during the break, we were talking about 4A Region 6. That's the region you're in. I think we may have that graphic ready to show. Even if we don't, you told me, so I'll tell you all about 4A Region 6. But I think we do have, these are the updated as of tonight region standings there. And of course, the big game tonight that I want to talk with you about was Etowah and Aniana. Etowah goes into Aniana, wins the game 31-7. So right now they're the team that I guess kind of controls their own destiny. But you've got a matchup with them. I know you got Fultondale coming up next week on the road, but in 2 weeks they come into Bobby Joe Johnson Field to take on your teams. There's a lot left to be decided. And obviously, if you can beat Etowah, that would probably create a three-way tie for first in this region. You and Coach Short kind of step in here too and kind of take us through this region here.
Well, yeah. So the two games with really big playoff implications tonight was Etowah, Aniana. For basically being in the driver's seat in the region, and and then Hanceville and Good Hope also played tonight. I believe Good Hope ended up beating Hanceville. It was a close game all the way through until I got to the dead zone in 19 and couldn't pick it up anymore. But when I got over to Anniston, I saw that Good Hope had pulled it out. And so it should be an exciting next couple of weeks. Aniana's kind of, I think they've got Good Hope left, and we've got Fultondale, Etowah, and Asheville left, and I'm not sure who Etowah has after us, but a lot of good football, a lot of things on the line still. Etowah beating Aniana, is huge for us, but it's a two-edged blade right there because you can't get too satisfied because Etowah's tremendously good football team. They're athletic, and they're going to hit you. They're going to try to do similar things that we're going to try to do, and so you can't overlook anybody every Friday night.
Well, the thing I look at is the non-region games. Those non-region games now are fixed to be real important as far as playoff implications are concerned because tiebreakers, and that's going to be big. Just looking at everybody's non-region games, and your average fan sometimes don't really look at that, and that just goes back to say, hey guys, every game's important. We got to have them.
That's right, and we've looked at our non-region schedule. Obviously, I haven't really kept up with everybody else's, so to speak, from top to bottom. Just I know Aniana play in Cleveland, and I don't even know who they had. I think they had Springville. Etowah had Springville, and so it kind of when you get in this position and it all folds out, you almost kind of root for the guys you've already played.
Yes, to win games.
If it comes to a three-way tie, that Piedmont game is going to be huge.
It is.
You're going to pick up a lot of wins and points from that.
Yeah, and then Model after playing them, they've put together some wins, and Munford had a big win last night, beating Lincoln, which is a inter-county rival right there. And then obviously we got to play Fort Payne week 10. Which is going to be a huge game. It's a great game. It's kind of like one of those great games of the past 80s and 90s. We haven't played Fort Payne in a while in the varsity level, and so they're having a great year, and so they're another team that has a lot of wins on their record. So we got to do our part. If we don't take care of ourselves, it doesn't matter anyway. Like I said, it does, but I'm not even sure who everybody else has played.
Coach, we're going to put you on the road back to Center because it's a good ways drive up there. I know you got a long week coming up, as it always is during football season. We always ask a fun question, though. So my fun question is, well, folks may not know, but you mentioned being in Georgia, Cedartown, playing in high school, and you were friends with country music star now, Sam Hunt, who played at UAB quarterback and things like that. So when you're going back to Center tonight, maybe you got the music on, and you're listening to the music. What's the style of music? What's the music that Jacob Kelly likes to listen to? What you got on the what's on Apple Music for you? What are you downloading?
Apple Music is all over the place. You know, if I'm cutting grass, it's more like laid back. I've got a Yellowstone playlist with a lot of like Americana type stuff. If we're in the weight room, it is complete hip hop.
Yeah.
I mean, from Lil Baby to Young Boy, those are the two that my players like the most. There's a couple of new guys coming out that hadn't, in my opinion, paid their dues. They don't have enough on the top 10. So you know, those are kind of, you know, in Friday nights. We do this thing in Cherokee County, especially when we're home, is after our pregame meal, our offensive meetings, defensive meetings, they have about an hour and 15 minutes where they just get off their feet. And a lot of those guys take a nap. And so at 5:15 we hit the lights on, and a lot of the times it's getting woke up to you know, some pretty loud hip hop, whether it be Young Boy, Lil Baby. I mean, I like to go back to my college days and even you know, have some Rich Homie Quan. I don't know if we've ever had this many hip hop references on this show.
I can answer that question. No. But hey,
Rich
that's a good
Homie
thing.
Quan, Young Thug. You know, those are all. When I was coming through in college, those are some ones. But, you know, my thing is whatever's going to get those guys ready to roll. If it's a song, I tell them in the weight room all the time because, hey, coach, play this. And I'll say something like this. Let me tell you something. There ain't a song live that's going to save you from getting your tail whooped if you ain't ready between the ears. So, but yeah, I might listen to Sam on the way home.
All right.
Highway 19, it'll be some good ones on the way.
Absolutely. Coach, congratulations on a great season so far. Best wishes the rest of the way. Looking for big things from your Cherokee County football team. Thank you for coming and being with us here on our Noble Bank and Trust postgame presser here on a Football Friday night.
Thank y'all for having me.
Jacob Kelly, head coach of the Cherokee County Warriors. Going to listen to some Sam Hunt, maybe some Young Thug on the way back to center tonight here. Let's talk about the Anniston Quarterback Club. Last week, Coach, you were there. Cole Kubelik was there from ESPN. Coming up Monday night, Rich Rodriguez, new head coach at Jacksonville State, will be in. Barry Jones from ESPN later on. Alyssa Lang from the SEC Network. Jay Batt from the Athletic Department of the University of Alabama. Matt Schwab, former NFL quarterback, coming in the next few weeks to the Anniston Country Club. For membership information, contact Kevin Gibson, 256-453-4886. More of After the Game presented by the Calhoun County Commission when we come back on Facebook and YouTube.
Are you ready for some football? Come in all month long and take a test drive at Team 1 Chevrolet and have a chance to win an Alabama, Auburn tailgate, or the ultimate tailgate package. Log on to ChevroletofGadsden.com for complete details. Chevrolet of Gadsden, where everyone's a winner. Someone's going to win an Alabama tailgate, someone's going to win an Auburn tailgate, and somebody's going to win the ultimate grand prize, including grill, generator, and big screen TV. Chevrolet of Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at PeeWeeTurnerMotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston. The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did.
Your home is a reflection of you, whether that's classic, farm style, or something unique. We at Ted's Carpet and Floor understand that, and we'll help you through the selection, finance, and installation process. We have an extensive selection of designer tiles, carpet, laminate, and hardwood. Let us help you choose the perfect granite or quartz to customize your kitchen or bathroom. We offer free in-home measurements, estimates, and design consultations. Ted's Carpet and Floor, your style, our passion.
Back on after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. We are about to run through a ton of highlights. We have got highlights. You stick with us here for the next 30 or 40 minutes or so. We're going to bring you highlights of games all over East Alabama, powered by Red Threads and O-Brand, bringing you the highlights. They have custom screen printed apparel, promotional products. Their storefront on the square in Jacksonville features Jacksonville State licensed goods, including all things Adidas and local city gear. Red Threads Apparel, where what's important about our shirts are the people that are wearing them. obrand.co, and also on the square in Jacksonville. We bring it back here now to after the game on this football Friday night, and we promised you tons of highlights back with Coach Short and Gerhard Mathangani. A lot of Thursday night games this week for a variety of reasons. People were antsy about the weather, wound up not being a problem, but the bigger thing was Talladega County Race Week, as we talked about earlier. But one of the games that was switched was homecoming at Westbrook Christian. Westbrook and Piedmont welcoming in what was the, Piedmont had dropped down in the ratings a little bit this week after the loss to Anniston, but still the number 3 team in the state coming into Westbrook Christian in Rainbow City. Gerhard, big night for the Bulldogs, both offensively and defensively.
That's 100% right, and you mentioned it. The pollsters, I like this about the pollsters, they did not put Piedmont out of the top 5, and deservedly so. They still had a 0 in the loss column in their region. They kept it that way last night. We'll go out to Etowah County, these two teams hooking up. Westbrook Christian would start out with the ball here on offense, but the drive would end via the interception. You see the great pressure leads to the interception is Jake Austin, Mason Coley on the pick there. Meanwhile, Piedmont with the football, it's Jack Hayes stutter stepping at first down right there. A few plays later, it is Cody Holloway getting him in space. He is really dangerous out in space. Right before he gets into the end zone, slung out of bounds, but not before he picks up a first down. Very next play, back to Holloway, and Piedmont gets on the board first, an early 7-0 lead for the Bulldogs. A little bit later, Westbrook Christian on offense, and guys couldn't get anything rolling offensively. John, you mentioned the great defense, and they came to play. It's Chance Murphy with a big sack for the Bulldogs there. A few plays later, Warriors punting the football, and it is Max Hansen with a nice return here off the bounce. And you love to see complimentary football, Coach. It's something that you and I have talked about for a long time. When your defense and your special teams begin to help your offense, giving them the short field. That's exactly what happens there. The punt return would lead to this field goal. Sloan Smith, one of the best in the state, capitalizes with that field goal. 10-0 early Piedmont. Westbrook Christian back on offense, trying to score. Their field goal is up in a great attempt, but it's no good there. So it is Piedmont now back on offense after that missed field goal. And this is a guy that made some big plays a couple of weeks ago in the big comeback against Anniston. They didn't get the win there, but Jack Hayes got the first down with his legs, got the touchdown there with his arms. Is Ishmael Bethel for the touchdown, and they add to their lead now up 17-0. Into the second quarter, Bulldogs score once again. Sloan Smith, another field goal here. He is a weapon, guys. Second field goal of the game. It is now 20-0, and then Warriors now on offense looking to get something going. Guys, the defense again stepping up. You got the pressure all night long. The interception that time there by McLean Mohan. Back on offense here for Piedmont is Jack Hayes painting that sideline there. Gets the edge and the first down a few plays later. Thomas Probst, he's had a great season so far. A great catch there right by the boundary. And that touchdown kind of a part of a huge day offensively, but then you also saw the defensive effort as well. This was really done on all three phases of the game. Special teams with the 2 field goals there by Sloan Smith. Great return by Max Hansen. Offense got it done as well. They get the shutout after that game was moved to Thursday night. One day earlier, no prep, or 1 day of less of prep. It did not hurt Piedmont at all last night.
I like these Thursday night games because I get a lot of stats.
Yeah.
Coaches have time to get it to me.
Thursday night football is a great thing.
It is. It depends on when you wake up.
Right.
But just to go ahead, and Coach Smith sent me some good stats, and a lot of it is what you've already said. Chance Murray had 2 sacks tonight, and that was big to get a disruption going for Westbrook's offense. Sloan Smith, you've already mentioned it. He was 2 for 2 on field goals, and he was 4 for 4 on PATs.
Wow.
And that's a weapon, especially as you get into the playoffs, being able to have that. Cody Holloway was 5 rushes for 69 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jack Hayes, everybody wants to hear his stats. It was 15 for 23, 132 yards and 2 TDs. Ishmael Bethel and Thomas Probst were on the receiving end of those 2 touchdowns. That was just a modest night for Jack Hayes.
Right.
And to me, probably one of the best returners that I've seen this year. He did it against Anniston, and he did it again last night, is Max Hansen.
Yes. Yeah.
Max Hansen had 4 punt returns for 119 yards.
Wow.
I mean, that's turning the game around.
Yeah,
that flips the field in a hurry.
Yeah.
And if you always notice, Piedmont's always been real good in their kicking game, and that's the mark of a good team. And McLean Mohan, Trevor Pike, and Jake Austin, all 3 of those had interceptions. That's 3 interceptions. So and when you take those interceptions and turn them into points,
right.
That's why Piedmont is what they are.
Exactly. Got pressure on the front end, the backers doing their thing in both the running game, and then the secondary doing their thing and getting interceptions.
And we had a great game last night. We talked about being all over the region. We were north in Etowah County. We were south down in Talladega County. Coach, you, Charlie Hinkle, Don Wilson, myself, the whole crew here from after the game just about. We were making our first ever appearance. We had never been to a game at Bulldog Stadium in Winterboro, believe it or not, after all these years. Winterboro and Donahoe in what was a very key game in Class 1A Region 6. Gerhard, we got highlights of the game. We could call this the Dust Bowl. You're going to see some dust. We haven't had rain in like 20 days.
Yeah.
You're going to see some dust from down in Winterboro in these highlights.
Yeah, you never know what kind of weather you get this time of year. You know it's going to be dry, but we didn't know how dry it was. Let's go out there to Talladega County, out there in the Alpine area. Bulldog Stadium, out we go. A beautiful night. 15th meeting overall, 9th straight between these 2 teams. But Winterboro's had their way with Donahoe the last 2 meetings. Outscored them 103-35. But it's Donahoe coming out firing early. First possession, Lucas Elliott on the carry, right up the gut. Tough carry, 13 yards. Big third down here on the drive. Falcons need 2, but Elliott, once again, this time, he gives them 7 and keeps those chains moving. Very next play, Donahoe goes to the air. Will Folsom drops back and hits Logan Melton. That is a sensational catch there in the end zone. 20-yard pitch and catch, and Donahoe grabs the early lead 7-0. Later in the first, Donahoe back on offense, and it's Winterboro's defense that steps up. Big play here, pickoff by Cameron Curry, and the Bulldogs capitalize on that turnover. They go right back to the guy that got them the ball. Cameron Curry on the receiving end of the interception and the receiving end of the touchdown off of Brandon Hunter's pass. And the Bulldogs try for 2. Watch the far sideline here in this shot. Demario Klang on the outside. It goes over the fence, so shows some athleticism there. And the Falcons keep it at 7-6. Game stayed tight, guys, as you can see, but Donahoe ends up getting the victory there by 8, 28-20.
And he did pop back up and leap back over the fence, so standing there in the end zone when he did that. Coach, you were able to stay to the end of the game. Now, we were on the road all over Talladega County, so we had to leave, but you stayed at the end. And the Donahoe defense doing the job at the end, a goal line stand at the end of the game to preserve the win.
Yeah, and that's what it came down to. And you have to look, Donahoe had 17 players. And Winterboro had almost 42 to 45 guys. And Donahoe just kept staying in there. And Donahoe's, it wasn't so much their rush game, but it was their throwing game, their pass game. But quarterback Will Folsom was 18 for 37. That's why it lasted so long. They threw it 37 times.
Right.
It was 18 for 37 for 255 yards and 2 touchdowns. And as you notice, what a great catch that kid made. They had several great catches during the night. Tight end Richard Goad had 5 catches for 1 TD, and he had 120 yards. So they had 2 guys that caught was over 100 yards in receiving. Wide receiver Logan Melton had 5 catches for 64 yards and 2 touchdowns. Lucas rushed for 68 yards, and those were big yards because he extended plays or extended drives by getting first downs. Hayes Farrell had 4 catches for 35 yards, but here's what's important for Hayes Farrell. Not only did he have 4 catches for 35 yards, but he had 12 tackles on defense. Because I mentioned there's 17 guys. I mean, count that. They're all playing both ways.
Right.
When the other team goes off the field, they're still standing there just waiting. Come on back out here. I'm ready to go. But as a team, they had 3 interceptions. And I think that's probably what turned the tide to the game. And again, all the way through the night, you're fighting back and forth, and they have a goal line stand there at the end. And I really think a lot of that had to do with the nice, cool weather we had last night. Allowed those to not be one of those hot, humid nights.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely. We take a look at Class 3A now as we kind of go into some region rundown. I don't know if we got these graphics ready or not, but 3A regions 4 and 6. Well, I'll just tell you, look at Class 3A Region 4. Very impactful what happened here tonight, because Davil continues to lead, but Randolph County was in trouble, Coach. You were at this game tonight down in Wedowee. Sachs was in command, it seemed like, in the fourth quarter of this game, and then Randolph County made the comeback, sent it to overtime. Sachs scored first, but Randolph County, Coach Pat Preston decides, hey, we're going for the win. They got the 2-point conversion. They win the game. And what that does is that keeps Randolph County not only undefeated overall, Coach, but undefeated in region play heading into a huge game on the hill at Walter Welborn next week.
A monster game. But the first thing I thought is, as I'm watching the game, is once they finally won, and it was a close game until it got away from Randolph County come out and scored first in the second half. And they go up 18 to 14, and then Sachs scores, and then they get a turnover. Sachs scores again, and Sachs scores again. You think, well, they're fixing to run away with it, But they stuck with their guns. They didn't panic. They just started running the football, and they end up scoring and getting down there at the end. They scored late to tie it up, and then they, like you said, they go into overtime, and they decided to go for 2. But I know that he was confident in what he was doing just by going for 2 and getting it, because they've been running the football a lot there at the end. But by looking at the Sachs game back a couple of weeks ago, Sachs and Davil, Sachs was in control of that game up until the end. And so now Randolph County has you got to have some confidence.
Right.
There's some big games there. Randolph County, Welborn, Sachs. I know Davil's sitting there now that they've already at the top, but I'm going to tell you, it is a toss-up on who's going to be that second place.
And, of course, we've still got Davil and Randolph County obviously have to play each other. Talking with Jonathan Miller out at Sachs today at our Team of the Week presentation, we talked about pretty much we know who the top 4 are going to be, I think, at this point in time.
That's right.
But what order they're going to be in, still way up in the air. Now, Class 3A Region 6, Gerhard, that region, Piedmont is in control. They control their own destiny. I think the big story tonight was Mike Robertson and the Hokes Bluff Eagles beating Plainview tonight. That may have clinched a playoff berth for Hokes Bluff. Hokes Bluff has beaten Westbrook. They've beaten Glencoe. They've beaten Plainview. I think Hokes Bluff now is in a great situation to get in the Class 3A state playoffs.
And it would have been very easy for them to fold after some early losses that kind of put them in the hole. But this is now a team on a nice little winning streak here, and especially in region. Got a pair of great region victories. And like you said, this is a very deep region overall. So, you don't want to take anything for granted, but I think I'm with you. I think they punched their ticket, or at least, got a chance to punch their ticket. They control their destiny, and to be able to get that playoff spot. You see all the teams there with 1 loss. This is going to be tight. But Hokes Bluff right now has done what they needed to do in order to secure at least a spot as we sit right here in week 6. Hats off to Coach Mike Robertson and his guys. And another great coaching battle here. 2 of the great ones to ever coach with Coach Robertson and Coach Pruitt.
Absolutely.
Well, Hokes Bluff, that's what they do. Every year they get better and better and better. And I tell people, I don't know if Hokes Bluff can do it. I said, well, they lost to Southside. Yeah. It was a very good team in 6A. So, they're just going to continue to get better and better and better each week, and it's going to be interesting to see how this goes.
I love this time of the year. It's football season, and that means, hey, if you go out to Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden on East Meagan Boulevard in East Gadsden, they are, if you take a test drive, you're going to be eligible and have a chance to win an Auburn or Alabama tailgate package, plus someone is going to win the grand prize. That grand prize this year is a grill, a generator, and a big screen television. You get all that. Log on to Chevrolet of Gadsden For complete details, drop by Team 1 Chevrolet on East Meagan Boulevard in East Gadsden, where everyone is a winner. When we come back, we'll have more highlights. We got tons of highlights coming as we roll throughout the night with you, and we'll continue highlights, regions. We still got a whole lot of award winners to get to, Team of the Week announcement, all of that as we roll on a Football Friday night presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Jimmy Newman from Oxford Lumber. I've kicked off many times in my football days, and that's an exciting play. When you're ready to kick off your next building or remodeling project, let us make sure you start your project off right, with the right material at the right price so you can score big and get the job done. Stop by and see our local guys with over 60 years of experience serving you. Come by any one of our 4 locations in Oxford, Talladega, Jacksonville, Roanoke, and don't forget about our low price guarantee.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Back on high school football, Alabama after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Jon Holder, the coach Michael Short, Gerhard Mathangani, he's on his way back in. Our hard-working after the game team with you all the way until 12 midnight, maybe beyond tonight. So we want to tell you that we are coming to you from the RMC Media Center, which is located at Parker Memorial Baptist Church in Midtown Anniston. So we've got a great crew here working every Friday night here at Parker Memorial Baptist Church. We also want to thank our fine folks at Noble Bank and Trust. They bring you the Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser. We appreciate Jason Howard of the Spring Garden Panthers joining us via Skype tonight. Great technology, something we didn't have 4 or 5 years ago to be able to do. And then also we have, of course, Jacob Kelly in all the way down from center, head coach of the Cherokee County Warriors, to talk about Cherokee County football. Appreciate him coming in on our Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser. So basically, Coach, we were Thursday night, we talked about jokingly, but Thursday night really is a tremendous night. We love football, and we're going to take a look at a lot of these final scores from all over East Alabama, run through all the final scores one more time, including all those Thursday night games. One of those Thursday night games, the game you just saw highlights of, Piedmont over Westbrook Christian last night, 34-0. Also last night, number of Thursday night games. White Plains beat Talladega 48-14. Highlights of that game on the way. Donahoe and Winterbury, you saw those highlights. Donahoe beat Winterbury 28-20. Tonight, Oxford a winner over Pell City on the road at Pell City, 38-13. Welborn setting up that big showdown with Randolph County next week on the Hill. They beat Childersburg 46-26 tonight. Anniston will have highlights of this game coming. Number 4 Bulldogs They're rising higher. They're undefeated 7-0 as they beat number 2 Hanley tonight at Lot Mosby Memorial Stadium 32-7. Randolph County 42-41 in overtime. They beat Sax tonight down in Wedowee. Huge win for Randolph County. They remain undefeated at 6-0. Geraldine shut out Ohatchee 28-0 at Coolidge Isabel Stadium up at Geraldine on Sand Mountain tonight. Alexandria wins on the road at St. Clair County 54-26. Huge region win for the Valley Cubs. Highlights of this game still on the way. Number 7 in 4A Jacksonville spoils homecoming at Cleveland County. Tigers played really well tonight. Jacksonville pulling away at the end to win it 41-15 in the 60th meeting of the Tigers and the Golden Eagles. Tough loss for Pleasant Valley tonight. They lose at home to Locust Fork in region play 21-14. Vincent tonight scores 54 points. They're averaging 52 a game, and they beat that tonight. They beat Ranburne 54-21 over at Ranburne. Woodland wins at Central Coosa 39-26. Last night, Terry Heflin breaks a long touchdown run in the fourth quarter. Central Clay County beats Valley 12-6. Beauregard last night over Sylacauga 38-7. Couple weeks away from a huge matchup between Beauregard and Central Clay County, likely to decide the 5A Region 4 title. Also tonight, it was B.B. Comer beating Isabella. Not only a top 10 matchup, probably the region title in 2A Region 4. B.B. Comer wins it 52-22. Isabella came in averaging 53 points a game. That was number 1 in Class 2A and one of the top scoring teams in the state of Alabama in any classification. But tonight, B.B. Comer holds them to 22 as they win it 52-22. Last night, Thorsby beat Fayetteville 22-18. Tonight, Grace Baptist Academy out of Chattanooga wins at ASD 58-22. Spring Garden, you saw Jason Howard on the show earlier. He and his Spring Garden team won over Talladega County Central 44-12. Last night, we'll have highlights of this game coming. Munford all over Lincoln in the top rivalry in East Alabama, 42-9. Munford wins it. Ragland tonight continues to roll. They win over Victory Christian 46-7. Moody remains undefeated, averaging 49 points a game. That average will go up a little bit. They scored 53 tonight, winning over Springville 53-14. Asheville beat Fultondale 38-7. Big win for Shea Monroe and the Asheville Bulldogs in region play. North Sand Mountain crushes Sandrock tonight 49-13. Last night, Galesville beats Woodville 54-6. Tonight, Valley Head all but wrapped up the region title for all intents and purposes in Class 1A Region 7 as number 6 Valley Head beat Cedar Bluff tonight 34-6. Gaston, a big win. We've got highlights of this game coming in just a couple of moments. Gaston over Holly Pond 28-26. Also highlights of that big win by Oaks Bluff as they beat Plainview 28-0. Sylvania wins over Glencoe tonight 42-7. Leeds 24-6 winners over Southside. Leeds, the number 2 team in the state in Class 5A. They are headed for a big showdown in a couple of weeks coming up with the Moody Blue Devils, the Battle of 411. Leeds remains undefeated at 6-0. Gadsden City, I think they probably are going to win a region title as well. Huge win tonight at Hazel Green, 37-7. Etowah upsetting number 5 Aniana 31-7, the final score there. Douglas tonight beat Sardis 49-8. And around the state, the big game in 1A, number 3 Linden over number 4 Sweetwater. That was 28-7, the final score in that game. Hartselle wins for the 3rd week in a row, a tough game on the road. They win at Muscle Shoals 29-26. Thompson beat Hewitt Trussville 14-12. Last night in 7A, it was Central Phoenix City beating Dothan 35-28. And tonight, they sold out Duck Sanford Stadium. Number 1 Auburn beating arch rival number 9 Opelika in Class 7A Region 2 play. Auburn rolling. Boy, I tell you what, Keith Etheridge and the Tigers are rolling. They beat Opelika 51-29. Let's talk about our Grub Mart Muscle Team. We were out at Sax today to award not only Team of the Week, but also the Muscle Team from last week. And it went to the Sax defensive line. 3 of those guys, we only had 2 of them out there today, but the Wildcats front line led the way in Sax 28-0 shutout win over state-ranked B.B. Comer. These are the defensive linemen: J.J. Smith, Mason Stevens, and Raymond Pearson. That defensive front helped Sax hold Comer last Friday night to 7 first downs, 88 yards rushing, and incredible 26 yards passing. The defensive line, those three guys right there had 15 tackles and 5 tackles for loss. And today, all three of those guys received a Grub Mart Muscle Team t-shirt courtesy of Young Oil Grub Mart. And speaking of Young Oil Grub Mart, let's tell you about those fine folks. They are all over East Alabama, from Center down to the Auburn-Opelika area. And they have the 99-cent bag of ice that has not increased with inflation. Also, they have the grub tub. You can bring last year's grub tub in, and for the next year, they'll fill it with popcorn. Absolutely free. They're giving you basically a 2-year for one value there. Just a tremendous folks at Young Oil Grub Mart, locations all across East Alabama. When we come back, more highlights as we roll on toward 12 midnight here on After the Game on Facebook and YouTube.
Home is a reflection of you, whether that's classic, farm style, or something unique. We at Ted's Carpet and Floor understand that, and we'll help you through the selection, finance, and installation process. We have an extensive selection of designer tiles, carpet, laminate, and hardwood. Let us help you choose the perfect granite or quartz to customize your kitchen or bathroom. We offer free in-home measurements, estimates, and design consultations. Ted's Carpet and Floor, your style, our passion.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at PeeWeeTurnerMotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Cash back. Plain and simple. That's what you'll get on the Noble Bank Cash Back account. No tricks, no gimmicky names, just free accounts that pay you cash back. If unlimited transactions, fraud protection, and refunds on ATM withdrawal fees nationwide sounds like your kind of banking, visit us at noblebank.com and learn more about the Noble Cashback account. Welcome to personal banking. Welcome to Noble Bank and Trust. noblebank.com, member FDIC.
Anniston Orthopedics continues to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping our players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics offers our Saturday morning sports injury clinic from 8 to 10 a.m. throughout the high school football season. Anniston Orthopedics also offers full-service physical therapy and occupational therapy departments. To learn more, visit our website at www.annistonortho.com. Anniston Orthopedics, located in the Tyler Center adjacent to RMC.
Are you ready for some football? Come in all month long and take a test drive at Team 1 Chevrolet and have a chance to win an Alabama, Auburn tailgate, or the ultimate tailgate package. Log on to ChevroletofGadsden.com for complete details. Chevrolet of Gadsden, where everyone's a winner. Someone's going to win an Alabama tailgate, someone's going to win an Auburn tailgate, and somebody's going to win the ultimate grand prize, including grill, generator, and big screen TV. Chevrolet of Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period.
Back on After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Time to name this week's Johnson's Giant Food Assistant Coach of the Week. This week, that award and recognition goes to Coach Dustin Smith of Ranburne. He is this week's Assistant Coach of the Week. He's been the defensive coordinator for the Bulldogs for 11 years. Also was head basketball coach for 6 years and assistant softball coach for 7 years. Coach Smith has a Master's of Education from Jacksonville State University and teaches physical education at Ranburne. Congratulations to Dustin Smith of Ranburne High School. He will receive a $25 gift card courtesy of Johnson's Giant Food, with locations all across East Alabama. Back with Gerhard Mathangani and the coach Michael Short. We've been talking a lot about the Hoax Bluff High School Eagles. Big win with Plainview tonight coming in. Probably, to be honest with you, I think folks probably thought this was a toss-up game, Gerhard.
Yeah.
And Hoax Bluff dominated and win this game 28-0.
It just adds to this impressive resume that they've had lately. And Coach, this is now 3 straight wins for Hoax Bluff. And we'll let you know how they got it done over in Etowah County today. You see the score we got there, 21-0, Hoax Bluff dominating early on. It's Plainview football. Richard Trey Rutledge hit as he throws incomplete. It is a turnover on downs. Host Bluff with the football once again, and it is Noah Sprayberry powers his way to a first down. It's classic Host Bluff Eagle football. A few plays later, Connor Masters would find Jalen Simmons in the flat there, and he falls to the ground. He's not ruled down. Ball comes out, and it is ruled Plainview football. But trouble strikes for the Bears when Rutledge loses the ball himself, and Logan Weinman for Host Bluff recovers the fumble there. So guys, just fumble recoveries back and forth. And now Host Bluff once again with the football, but nothing comes for this Eagles possession. The Bears would end up getting the football back, and Rutledge, his pass would be intercepted there by Coleman McGinnis, and the Eagles back with the football. Once again, it is Blaine Barron getting the first down, and it sets up first and goal there for the Eagles. 2 plays later, going back to Sprayberry. He started the highlights. He ends them right here with a touchdown. PAT would be good. 28-0 your score here. And the Eagle faithful showing you it's all about the W over there. They've got 3 now in a row. Host Bluff, a very impressive 4-2 record, but even more impressive the way they came out and dominated a Plainview team that competes. Their record is a little deceiving as to the way they play football. It's not a bad football team, but the way Host Bluff able to win today was very, very, very impressive, guys.
And the first win by Host Bluff ever in history over Plainview in their 3 all-time meetings. Guys, we were talking earlier about going down to Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware into the 4 locations. They have the grills out there. Go buy that grill and then go to Johnson's Giant Food. That's where you need to go tomorrow. You're getting ready for the big games tomorrow. Auburn, Alabama, Jack State has a home game tomorrow. They have the best selection of meats anywhere in East Alabama. That's where I buy all my meats, is at Johnson's Giant Food, no doubt about that. But then they've got the deli if you don't want to cook. They have everything that you could possibly want for your tailgate or for your party at the house, your viewing, whatever, however you're going to watch the games on the weekends, maybe your Friday night tailgates. They have all of that for you. Johnson's Giant Food, 4 locations to serve, actually 5 locations to serve you: East Gadsden, downtown Gadsden, in Attala, in Coldwater, and in Jacksonville. Time for our next Team 1 Automotive. Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden Extra Point. After 6 weeks of play, the state's top scoring team, Class 4A Catholic of Montgomery. The Knights are averaging 54 points per game through 6 games. Catholic has scored over 60 points twice, over 50 points 3 other times. The least points they have scored in a game was 42 in the opener against Class 6A McGill-Toolen Catholic. More highlights, more awards, more region standings coming up as after the game rolls on a Football Friday Night presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did. When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at PeeWeeTurnerMotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Hi, this is Jimmy Newman from Oxford Lumber. I've kicked off many times in my football days, and that's an exciting play. When you're ready to kick off your next building or remodeling project, let us make sure you start your project off right, with the right material at the right price so you can score big and get the job done. Stop by and see our local guys with over 60 years of experience serving you. Come by any one of our 4 locations in Oxford, Talladega, Jacksonville, or Roanoke. And don't forget about our low price guarantee.
Cash back. Plain and simple. That's what you'll get on the Noble Bank cash back account. No tricks, no gimmicky names, just free accounts that pay you cash back. If unlimited transactions, fraud protection, and refunds on ATM withdrawal fees nationwide sounds like your kind of banking, visit us at noblebank.com and learn more about the Noble Cashback account. Welcome to personal banking. Welcome to Noble Bank and Trust. noblebank.com, member FDIC.
The Calhoun County Commission bringing you high school football Alabama's after the game. Great county commissioners. District 1, Fred Wilson. District 2, Danny Shears. District 3, Carolyn Henderson. Out of District 4, J.D. Hess. And District 5, the chairman of the commission this year is Lee Patterson. They do such a phenomenal job of supporting local athletics. Things like High School Football Alabama after the game, the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame, the individual schools and communities all across the county as they help with their facilities and help with all the extras they need. Calhoun County Commission certainly involved in everything going on with our schools and communities here in Calhoun County and bringing you after the game. And it's time to name our Player of the Week, our Farmers and Merchants Bank Player of the Week. And I think this one from last week's game seems like a long time ago, but it was just last Thursday night when Cam Sandlin of the Anniston Bulldogs had that great game against Piedmont up at the Field of Champions. Sandlin tallied over 200 yards of offense. He threw 2 touchdown passes, ran for another, and had a 2-point conversion run in that big 30-28 win over, at the time, number 1 ranked 3A Piedmont. And Cam Sandlin will receive the Player of the Week plaque from Farmers and Merchants Bank. A lot of Thursday night action last night, and I'll tell you, Coach and I have talked about liking Thursday night. I'll tell you somebody else who I think likes Thursday night football, Chandler Tyree. Because the White Plains Wildcats last night, they played phenomenal. We arrived at Mary Dumas Stadium, homecoming for Talladega. We walk in and White Plains is dominating. They continue to dominate. They really dominated Gerhardt from beginning to end in this game last night in Talladega.
Yeah, most certainly. And it's one of those things with White Plains. You go in and you have to play on one day's less preparation, and you know all about that, Coach. You have to bump everything up. You start on Sunday with your game prep. Let's go out to this big matchup over at Talladega. There you see a 14-7 lead late in the second quarter when we get there, and the Wildcats hit a big play from the get-go. Wade Thompson goes up top. Rodney Perry comes up with the great catch there, a 44-yard pitch and catch for the touchdown. PAT, as you see, up and through. 21-7 lead for the Wildcats. Next White Plains possession, another big play. This time it is L.J. Burns. And he burns down the sideline, 61 yards. Great effort, though, from Talladega defense late in this one, getting him down before he scores. Burns, 326 yards on the night. Very next play, they go to Brandon Hom, and he takes it down to the 1-yard line. And next play, you go to Wade Thompson, who's a great dual threat guy. When you need a tough yard, he can give it to you. When you need a pass, he can give you a touchdown pass as well. And White Plains goes on to dominate in this one. 48-14, your final score here. And it was actually kind of hard for me to believe, guys, that this was the first meeting between those two. You would think at some point White Plains has played football for a little over 50 years, over 100 years for Talladega, and they're around the same classification. So maybe you would have thought that somehow, some way they would have played. But first ever meeting goes the way of the Wildcats.
Well, they played basketball before.
Yeah, for sure. And some good basketball.
And one thing I couldn't help but notice, and you could tell me this, but that field looked good.
The best field, now, they still have natural grass. We're seeing more and more folks adding in the artificial turf. But as far as natural grass fields, now I haven't seen every stadium, but I've been to a lot of them here in East Alabama this year.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, that was the best looking turf that I have seen was down at Talladega.
Them and Hoax Bluff together.
Yeah.
Hoax Bluff is pretty too. We saw that at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
But as far as White Plains, you're right. They had a super night offensively and defensively. They rushed for 456 yards last night. They passed for 84, so they had a total altogether of 540 yards. But L.J. Burns, you missed it, on 29 carries, had 326 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wade Thompson was 3 for 6 for 84 yards, but 2 of those were touchdown passes. And he also rushed for 7 carries for 35 yards, 2 touchdowns himself rushing. So And then you can't. Brandon Ham, he had 2 catches for 38 yards and 1 touchdown. Rodney Peary had 1 catch. We saw that on the film there for 46 yards and a touchdown. And then defensively, the Green, Wallace, and Thompson, all 3 of those guys totaled 9 tackles apiece.
Wow.
That's getting around the football, running to the football. And, White Plains, you can say that was one of their better games. And they also came in and ruined the homecoming. Because that was homecoming. I think there was a lot of music going on in the bleachers and DJs and loud music. and that's not just for the home team, but that's different for the visitor team, too, to put up with that kind of loud noise and music. So hats off to White Plains for being able to not worry about what's going on in the stands and get the job done.
Yeah. And White Plains, they needed that win. They're still theoretically in contention for a playoff berth out of that Class 4A Region 4. We could not do this show without Crawford Office Supply. They're located on South Layton Avenue in Anniston because they provide our chairs that we sit in. They provide a lot of our office furniture here. If you want to go by and check out their inventory right there on South Layton Avenue in Anniston, just a block off of Quintard behind Betty's Barbecue. They have furniture, scratch and dent furniture, supplies, janitorial, everything you need. Great showroom there with tons of furniture. CrawfordOfficeSupply.com. You can also call them at 237-3310. And as we go to break, it's time for our next Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden Extra Point. Entering this week's games, the leading defense in the state belong to Class 3A Houston Academy of Dothan. The Raiders have allowed only 22 points in their first 5 contests, an average of only 4 points per game. 3 of the 5 games have been shutouts as Houston Academy has rolled to a 5-0 record. They played last night down in Southeast Alabama. They gave up more points last night than they had given up in all the points combined, but still one of the top defenses in the state of Alabama. More of After the Game in just a moment.
We are the Winterboro Bulldogs, and you're watching After the Game on YouTube and Facebook.
My dad taught me to fish right here years ago. But when an old sports injury started slowing him down, I knew we'd need to search for the latest procedures in knee and hip replacement. With physical therapy tailored to his needs, a dedicated team of doctors and nurses, and he'd want a fast recovery time. So where'd he find all that?
Right here at RMC.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Anniston Orthopedics continues to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping our players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics offers our Saturday morning sports injury clinic from 8 to 10 a.m. throughout the high school football season. Anniston Orthopedics also offers full-service physical therapy and occupational therapy departments. To learn more, visit our website at www.annistonortho.com. Anniston Orthopedics, located in the Tyler Center adjacent to RMC.
Your home is a reflection of you, whether that's classic, farm style, or something unique. We at Ted's Carpet and Floor understand that, and we'll help you through the selection, finance, and installation process. We have an extensive selection of designer tiles, carpet, laminate, and hardwood. Let us help you choose the perfect granite or quartz to customize your kitchen or bathroom. We offer free in-home measurements, estimates, and design consultations. Ted's Carpet and Floor, your style, our passion.
Are you ready for some football? Come in all month long and take a test drive at Team 1 Chevrolet and have a chance to win an Alabama, Auburn tailgate, or the ultimate tailgate package. Log on to ChevroletofGadsden.com for complete details. Chevrolet of Gadsden, where everyone's a winner. Someone's going to win an Alabama tailgate, someone's going to win an Auburn tailgate, and somebody's going to win the ultimate grand prize, including grill, generator, and big screen TV. Chevrolet of Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period.
We are back on high school football, Alabama's After the Game. Jon Holder back with you with the coach Michael Short. We're going to talk about some region now, region rundowns. We're going to look at Class 5A. We have two regions, of course, that have teams from East Alabama involved. Class 5A regions 4 and 6. And we will begin with Class 5A Region 4. Coach, they all played last night. We talked about Thursday night football. There were 3 games. This is only a 6-team region, one of the few 6-team regions in the state, but they all played last night's games. So Central of Clay County, they won at Valley last night, and we're going to talk about Terry Heflin here in just a second, their great running back and what he did. But a big win for Central of Clay County last night. Also, it was Tallahassee, a winner over Elmore County. And then Beauregard last night, as we said, they beat Sylacauga 38-7 down at Beauregard. But, Coach, there it is. Pretty clear at the top. Beauregard and Central Clay County on a collision course for a region title.
That's going to be a huge game. Just by listening to Coach Herron and Coach Weems and Rusty Taylor talk about calling the game last night. They drove down last night to Valley, and that's always a hard place to play. Over the years, Valley, when you go to their place, it's just a very difficult place to play. And last night, it was a 6-6 ball game, pretty much right there to the end. Central Clay come up with a big defensive stop and got the ball back with about 3 minutes to go and did one of those typical Danny Horn type teams. They're going to get in, get under the center, get in the wishbone, and here we go. And on the 42nd carry last night, Terry Heflin on his 42nd carry, 42 carries. He had 285 yards total, but on the 42nd carry, he had a 53-yard touchdown run with less than 2 minutes to play to secure the victory. Boy, they need to be able to get over there and put some ice on that guy's legs because he may have to go to the doctor because that's a lot of running.
And I guess had to get up and go to school today after about an hour and 15-minute drive back from the Valley last night. And a big win for Central Clay County, big road win. And that was not planned to be on Thursday night. That was switched on Monday.
Yes.
So they got some last-minute notice on that, got a short week to prepare, less day to prepare to do that. Wound up not raining a drop down in the Valley, but anyway, they played the game there. Coach Horn was telling you and I earlier at a pep rally that Beauregard, very talented team. He was talking about the fact they've got some new players that have moved into the offseason, have transferred into Beauregard, and they may be talent-wise, they might be the most talented team in that region. But as we've seen over and over with Danny Horn teams, especially when, as you know, Coach, I'm of the belief, and I think you are too, when you run the football and you run it well, good things happen. And they're happening right now because Clay Central has been able to run the football here these last few weeks.
Well, it's a typical Danny Horn team. They can run the football and they can play defense. And that's, we're starting to see as the season goes along, people against them, their scoring is going lower and lower and lower, which means their defense is starting to play together. They're starting to make plays happen. And when you play a team like that can run the football and you're a big high-scoring offense, you're going to get less and less opportunities. They're not giving the people the football by being able to run it. And, they'll get out there and they'll spread around like they did against Alexandria and throw it 10 times. You come in at halftime, Coach Horn puts the hammer down and says, we're not throwing it again, we're going to run it every snap. And that's pretty much what they did the other night. And it wears on people. It wears on people when people can run the football like that. So it's a typical Danny Horn team by being able to run the football and play great defense.
5A Region 6, interesting things going on in this region as well. And as we look at that, we're going to leave that up there for a couple of moments here to look at. Tonight, the big game obviously was Southside and Leeds. Leeds led this game. It was very close in the first half, but they pulled away in the second half, and they win it pretty comfortably over Southside 24-6. That was Southside's first loss in region play, but now Southside has got some tough games coming up. They still got to play Moody, who's undefeated. They still have to play Alexandria in Death Valley. I think this is a 7-team region again, and Coach, I think we kind of know who the 4 are going to be. It's going to be Alexandria, Moody, Leeds, Southside, it looks like. But the order of what that's going to be is still very much up in the air. But all eyes now are on that, what will likely to be a top 5 matchup when they play each other between Leeds and Moody. Both teams undefeated, not only in the region, but, Coach, undefeated overall as well.
Well, they don't have to go far to find each other.
That's right.
I mean, just a couple of hamburger joints in between them there in the interstate I-20. It's going to be interesting to watch that game. To me, I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there that Leeds has the advantage because they've been there before, and Moody is building a program. I understand they've got transfers, and I understand how good they are, but Leeds has been there and done that. So that's going to be an interesting ball game between those two.
Yes, and you still got Alexandria in Leeds. You've still got Alexandria in Southside, Southside in Moody, Moody in Leeds. I mean, there are some still. What's basically happening here, the top four right now are starting to play each other.
Yeah.
They've kind of played the St. Clair Counties, Lincoln, Springvilles early on. Now they're going to play each other, and that's going to sort out who finishes 1, 2, 3, and 4.
And you have to tell me, does Leeds come to Alexandria?
Well, I think Leeds, they come to Alexandria 2 years in a row.
That's what I thought.
They come 2 years in a row. Last year, the thing about it is, Leeds came in highly thought of last year, and Alexandria beat them 43-7. So keep that in mind as well. Still a lot of football to be played in this region. Yeah, and Leeds is coming to the Valley. Strange things happen out there in the Valley. We will be back with more highlights, tons of more region play and things like that as we continue on High School Football Alabama's After the Game on Facebook and YouTube on a Football Friday Night.
Hi, this is Jimmy Newman from Oxford Lumber. I've kicked off many times in my football days, and that's an exciting play. When you're ready to kick off your next building or remodeling project, let us make sure you start your project off right, with the right material at the right price so you can score big and get the job done. Stop by and see our local guys with over 60 years of experience serving you. Come by any one of our 4 locations in Oxford, Talladega, Jacksonville, or Roanoke. And don't forget about our low price guarantee.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Cash back. Plain and simple. That's what you'll get on the Noble Bank Cash Back account. No tricks, no gimmicky names, just free accounts that pay you cash back. If unlimited transactions, fraud protection, and refunds on ATM withdrawal fees nationwide sounds like your kind of banking, visit us at noblebank.com and learn more about the Noble Cashback account. Welcome to personal banking. Welcome to Noble Bank and Trust. Noblebank.com. Member FDIC.
There's a lot to think about when you're having a baby. Colors of the nursery, names, and most importantly, where to deliver.
We want a hospital that gives families a more personalized birthing experience.
With a compassionate team of doctors and nurses, and a hospital where my baby and I can instantly bond with all the comforts of home.
So where do we find all that?
Right here at RMC, the first designated baby-friendly hospital in Alabama.
Anniston Orthopedics continues to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping our players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics offers our Saturday morning sports injury clinic from 8 to 10 a.m. throughout the high school football season. Anniston Orthopedics also offers full-service physical therapy and occupational therapy departments. To learn more, visit our website at www.annistonortho.com. Anniston Orthopedics, located in the Tyler Center adjacent to RMC.
We are back on High School Football Alabama after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Jon Holder, Gerhard Mathangani, the coach Michael Short with us. Big game tonight, the biggest game of the night. Sometimes they live up to the billing, but tonight it's one of those situations where one team comes in and dominates the other. You see that sometimes in a big top 4 matchup like we had tonight. And that's exactly what happened at Wyatt Mosby Memorial Stadium. Number 2 Hanley, number 4 Anniston, our number 1 and 2 teams in our East Alabama top 10 meeting tonight. More than likely the Class 4A Region 4 title on the line. We were there, packed house, and it was all Anniston Bulldogs tonight. Very impressive win by Rico White and the Bulldogs.
It certainly was. And the score won't necessarily indicate the way that the first half played. You'll see those highlights in a bit. And Coach, there is a bit of a caveat here because of one of the top players for Hanley. You'll see him in the highlight, but he doesn't play the entire game. Jay Haynes, and it was one of the situations where you would hope both teams would be at full strength because I think they would give us a dynamic game, but Anniston certainly took care of business tonight. Great place to watch football is Lot Mosby Memorial Stadium. That's where we go over in the Anniston area. These two teams hooking up for the 12th time overall, and it's a really fun atmosphere as number 2 Hanley visits number 4 Anniston, but the region championship possibly still on the line here. Here's a 4th down play by Anniston, and this ball goes incomplete right off the fingertips right there, and Hanley would take over on downs. But the Anniston defense really stepped up here. You'll see the pressure all night long, and the Anniston defense really made life tough there for Hanley. This is where you'll see Jay Haynes. He played very few snaps. This was one of them. Didn't play much after this right here. Anniston forces the punt, and they get the football back. A little bit later, it is Malachi Taylor for the touchdown, and Anniston on the board early on there with a early 7-0 lead after a pair of teams went back and forth for a little bit. Trying to get some offense going is Hanley. And there you see Elijah Goss, but Anniston just made life so difficult running the football, and Hanley couldn't throw the football either. This pass here by Kanan Kyles into the end zone, and that pass is incomplete. Another turnover on downs there for Hanley. A little bit later, this pass also incomplete. But guys, the story of the first half, penalties. Total 13 for 195 yards. That keeps this drive going, and Anniston takes advantage. Cam Sadlin to Jalen Cunningham. The speedster picks up the first down. A little bit later in that drive, it is Sadlin to Javon Thomas, and watch this beautiful pass right here, and he gets into the end zone. Watch the second effort by Thomas. Thomas slides into the end zone for the touchdown. Extra point is blocked, and Anniston takes a 13-0 lead to halftime, guys. Just 9 yards total for Larry Strain's bunch. They needed a really big play to start the third quarter, and they got it. Right in their first possession, it is Kanan Kyles to Marquis Lewis. He's off to the races, and guys, we got a ball game. It is now 13-7 after that touchdown. The extra point is good, and Hanley is on the board. But Anniston went right back after them. The very next possession, Cam Sadlin in trouble, and guys, he can just beat you with his legs and beat you with his arms up top. And the big fella, Tristan Phillips, a 37-yard grab, and then Malachi Taylor would end up punching this one in for the touchdown. This one made it 19-7. Before I left the building, it was 26-7. And there you see your final score, 32-7, as Anniston comes through and gets the big win over Hanley today. As we said, you saw the highlights there. You saw Jay Haynes in the highlights. Didn't play very much. I don't know if it was that play, the play that was on the highlights that ended up getting him hurt. However, that's how it ends today, as Anniston gets the win.
Well, the two takeaways. One, how well Anniston is playing right now.
Yes.
They played so good against Piedmont, and they played so well tonight.
Yeah.
And then the other part of that, and this takes nothing away from Anniston, but obviously Jay Haynes, who got one of the best running backs in the state in any classification, basically not playing in the game, went out, play 3, something like that.
Right, yeah.
So that was a big factor, obviously. You know, you take away a team who has a great running game and you take away their great running back, that's big, but Anniston, just unbelievable. You know, we've been interested to see if Haynes is in the game, what happens, but the way, Haynes doesn't play defense, and Anniston scored 32 points tonight.
Exactly, and also Anniston was able to get great pressure. So whether Haynes stayed in as a 6th blocker, a 6th protector, not sure. But the Anniston defense made life really difficult passing. So just in case, so let's just say Haynes played, and let's say Anniston stopped the run. Well, Anniston made it really difficult to pass as well, even if he's in there as a 6th or 7th man protector.
The scary thing when you look at Anniston right now is confidence.
Yeah.
The confidence that they have as a team in their senior leadership, which the senior leadership is forcing that confidence onto the team.
Right.
I mean, every week we keep saying it. They get behind, something happens to them. You know, that first score, they come out second half, and then they come right back. To me, the leadership of Cam Sandlin right now, your quarterback has to be your team leader.
Right.
Every college team, every pro team, it's all we talk about. And he is making plays he has to make. You know, you look at him and you say, are they always that pretty pass? But somebody's catching it.
Right, yeah.
He's making the plays he has to make. Is he going to be a quarterback next level? I don't know.
Right.
But he's going to play at the next level somewhere.
Right.
And he's making the plays, and he is willing his team to win football games. And everybody's following him.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of times we all mentioned about the kid not playing tonight, and you done said it, he don't play defense. And, and they scored, but you know what? Maybe it sets up something down the road.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe if he's healthy and they play again, you never know. But you got to give credit to Anniston for what they're doing. Their community's got behind them. There's a big crowd tonight, and hey, you got to give them props. And the more games that they win, and the more adversity that they face, the more confidence they're getting. They're a dangerous football team right now.
Absolutely. Looking at the region now, and this region rundown, Class 4A Region 4, this graphic will show you all that you need to know, because it is basically now Anniston's to lose. Anniston's the only undefeated team left. They're the only undefeated team overall. Everybody's got a loss, and here's the big thing for Anniston. They have already beaten Hanley. They have beaten Munford. They have beaten Jacksonville. So they have got they've knocked out 3 of the top teams in this region. So Anniston, the runaway favorite to probably win this region. And now you've got Hanley, Munford, Cleveland County, Jacksonville, White Plains still alive in there, all still battling for playoff berths there. But Anniston tonight, for all intents and purposes, Coach, I think, barring some monumental crazy stuff happening, Anniston won the region title tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they know it. They might as well get the T-shirts out and go ahead and order them, because they've won it. I know Coach don't want to hear that, but they know. They're already looking now. And why was it so important is because when you start looking at playoffs and you look at matchups and where you may go on the road and who you may have come to your place, because sometimes in the playoffs you may play somebody that's better than you are, but you get to play them at home. And that's where upsets happen in the playoffs. So being number 1 in that region is a big, big deal, especially this year.
The Regional Medical Center Media Center, that's where we are here at Parker Memorial Baptist Church on Quintard Avenue in Anniston. RMC has new primary care doctors at all their family practice locations. They're now taking new patients in Oxford, Anniston, Jacksonville, and in Roanoke. At the Anniston Family Practice Center, the Oxford Family Practice Center, Jacksonville Family Medicine, and at the Roanoke Rural Health Clinic. The new doctors, Dr. Brooke Carroll, Dr. Trey Emerson, and Dr. Bridget Gibson. RMC bringing you the RMC Media Center here at Parker Memorial Baptist Church in Anniston. When we come back, more of high school football Alabama after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
Are you ready for some football? Come in all month long and take a test drive at Team 1 Chevrolet and have a chance to win an Alabama, Auburn tailgate, or the ultimate tailgate package. Log on to ChevroletofGadsden.com for complete details. Chevrolet of Gadsden, where everyone's a winner. Someone's going to win an Alabama tailgate, someone's going to win an Auburn tailgate, and somebody's going to win the ultimate grand prize, including grill, generator, and big screen TV. Chevrolet of Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at PeeWeeTurnerMotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston. The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
Your home is a reflection of you, whether that's classic, farm style, or something unique. We at Ted's Carpet and Floor understand that, and we'll help you through the selection, finance, and installation process. We have an extensive selection of designer tiles, carpet, laminate, and hardwood. Let us help you choose the perfect granite or quartz to customize your kitchen or bathroom. We offer free in-home measurements, estimates, and design consultations. Ted's Carpet and Floor, your style, our passion.
Awards to remember, go to awardstoRemember.com. They are the leading awards dealer in this part of the state of Alabama, one of the leading awards dealers in all of the state of Alabama. Visit their showroom. You can see great trophies like our Team of the Week trophy, our Tough Guy trophy that we awarded out at Saks today. They have all kinds of samples for you out there. Go to awardstoRemember.com. One of the top 10 awards dealers in the entire Southeast right here in Calhoun County. AwardsToRemember.com, the place to go to find out your awards for trophies and everything you need as far as trophies and plaques and awards at AwardsToRemember.com. Back on high school football, Alabama after the game. Tonight, the Gaston Bulldogs needing a win tonight. They won their first game of the season against Asbury, had some tough losses since then. Back at Shinbone Ridge tonight, Holly Pond making their second trip into Etowah County. They were at Glencoe last week, coming back to Etowah County tonight to take on the Gaston Bulldogs. And Gaston getting a big win for Coach Matt Harris.
Exactly, and this is a team in Gaston where, just piling up wins and being confident in themselves is really, really important. This is a team that I followed in the preseason, and to me, I think that this is a team that is starting to build trust and build faith in what they're building over there at Gaston. Let's go over to Gaston. Our Bailey Morris was over there tonight. Gaston and Holly Pond. And Holly Pond will start with the football first here. It is Sawyer Ollinger. He's made some great plays for this team this year to Diego Garcia, and Garcia ball would come out there. Holly Pond falls on it. It is a first down. Very next play, the Broncos score first with a run from Damian Raymond. Raymond right up the gut, takes it right up the middle, and the PAT after would be good. And Broncos of Holly Pond grab the early 7-0 lead at Gaston. But Gaston comes right back. Their ensuing possession, Josh Hester gets the first down. He's been a really great player for this guy, for this team, and one of the leaders for this team all season long. A few plays later, they go to Kobe Harris, and Harris would find the end zone there. So Gaston on the board, 2-point conversion, no good. So Bulldogs trail 7-6. There you see the 2-point play attempt. Great defense there by the Broncos. But the Broncos go back on offense a little bit later, and it is Ollinger on the play here, and Ollinger would get the handoff, and he runs it for a first down. Give him 18 yards and a big first down there from Ollinger. Into the second quarter we go. Broncos more on offense here. Coach going for it on 4th and 15. And they get it. Not only get the first down, they get the touchdown. It is Garcia on the receiving end of that pass from Ollinger. PAT's blocked. Right there, you see the block. So it's 13-7. Bulldogs on offense. Hester powers his way for a first down. Really big, strong, athletic player for the Bulldogs. A few plays later, it is Hester. And this time, he goes into the end zone. So he showed at first the strength running over the defender, and that time the speed getting into the end zone. And Hester scores the touchdown, and then they go back to Harris for the 2-point conversion. It's good, and Gaston goes up by 1, 14-13. Ensuing kickoff here, returned by Jaden Holloway of the Broncos. And it's a really good return for Holly Pond. He goes all the way into the end zone for the touchdown. The 2-point conversion after this touchdown, no good. So a big swing of momentum here, guys, as Holly Pond and Gaston go back and forth. But as we told you, it was 19-14 at the half. There you see the score, and Gaston goes on to win it. It's a tight ball game. You saw the way it played out, and guys, a great ending, and definitely a great ending for Coach Harris and his bunch as they go and get the 28-26 win.
First meeting, and the only other meeting they had in the first meeting was in 1964. That's 58 years ago. Gaston wins it. Coach Harris and his trying to build a program over there at Gaston, and very confident they will be improved. They are improved this year, their second win of the year for the Gaston Bulldogs. A lot of movements tonight as we go back to region rundown in Class 1A, and we want to talk about 1A Region 6 and 7 because some significant games both last night and tonight in that region. We'll begin in Class 1A Region 6. We had Jason Howard on earlier. Everybody now trying to keep pace with Raglan. Raglan is the top team in this region, but they still have to play Spring Garden. And again, we could be talking about a possible three-way tie. Spring Garden can go in and beat Raglan. But Coach, the team that really did some good for themselves last night, you and I talked about this a lot, probably a playoff berth was on the line, to be honest about it, between Donahoe and Winterboro. Coach Jeremy Satcher really did some good for his team last night in that win at Winterboro.
Yeah, I talked to him, this morning, and we got to talk when I was at the racetrack. We talked for about 30 minutes. That was about 8 o'clock this morning. We talked, and I talked to him about, offensively, the things that they did on offense just to give themselves a chance. And they did a great job offensively last night. I mean, it was just, unbelievable what they did offensively. I mean, with only 17 players,
right,
he wasn't going to line up and try to run over people.
And Donahoe has another Thursday night game. This next week they play TCC at home. A win there pretty much assures Donahoe is going to be in the Class 1A playoffs, and a big, huge game looming down the road in that region between Spring Garden and Raglan. That game will be at Joan Ford Stadium in Raglan coming up in a couple of weeks. Class 1A Region 7, Valley Head, what they did tonight with that win over Cedar Bluff, Valley Head coach and Gerhardt is kind of in the same position that Anniston is in, because not only are they 3-0 in the region, the only undefeated team, but they have already beaten Cedar Bluff and Coosa Christian and Decatur Heritage, so they've beaten the top teams in the region already. I think Valley Head, with that win tonight over Cedar Bluff, pretty much wrapped up the region title.
I don't think this is any kind of disrespect to Valley Head, but this might be the surprise of this region, and probably one of the surprises in the state. They find themselves once again in the top 10 polls. I think a lot of people thought Valley Head would have a good football team, but to run the table the way they have through 6 games, I think a lot of people are surprised by that. And like you said, a lot of competitive action as it relates to who gets the number 3 and number 4 spot. We will see as those teams jockey for position, but it should be a great one as we get closer and closer to seeing that Valley Head Appalachian matchup.
And for Valley Head, the biggest thing now is, people thought they were going to be good, but to be as good as they are right now, the coaching staff's got a challenge in front of them of keeping those guys focused on each week.
And here's the big thing, looking way ahead to the playoffs, first round of the playoffs, 6 versus 7. So these two regions will meet up with each other.
Wow.
It'll be your Spring Gardens, Raglans, Wadleys. They will be meeting up with the Valley Head, Cedar Bluffs, Coosa Christian. So we'll get some kind of a local flavor in the first round of the playoffs, which we don't always see. Let's tell you about the folks with Noble Bank. Noble Bank has got a tremendous amount of locations across East Alabama. Noble Bank located, they've got locations in Piedmont, in Anniston, in Oxford, in Heflin. They're even in the Summit in Birmingham, and they have locations in all those places. And every time that you go to a location, obviously you're going to get great service, but even when you call into Noble Bank and Trust, you will always speak to a live person. Noble Bank and Trust, bringing you our Noble Bank and Trust post-game pressers right here on After the Game. We'll be back with more as we roll on a Football Friday night presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit Debit Card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Jimmy Newman from Oxford Lumber. I've kicked off many times in my football days, and that's an exciting play. When you're ready to kick off your next building or remodeling project, let us make sure you start your project off right, with the right material at the right price so you can score big and get the job done. Stop by and see our local guys with over 60 years of experience serving you. Come by any one of our 4 locations in Oxford, Talladega, Jacksonville, Roanoke, and don't forget about our low price guarantee.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, third floor of the Tyler Center, Anniston Orthopedics has their sports medicine clinic. That is open to all athletes during football season, so volleyball players, cross-country players as well as football players. Check that out, the sports medicine clinic at Anniston Orthopedics, third floor of the Tyler Center, 8 o'clock. On Saturday mornings, Anniston Orthopedics bringing you our very popular score shirts for our Team of the Week, which that announcement will be coming up in just a few moments here on After the Game. All right, to Gerhard Mathangani, Coach Michael Short back in with us again. My crew tonight, I'll tell you, great atmosphere over at the Pit in Heflin.
Yeah.
Homecoming, we're going to see the homecoming queen here in a minute. Packed house on both sides. Big rival game, Class 4A Region 4. I think these two teams meeting for the 60th time tonight. Really just a great high school football atmosphere. The bands were fantastic tonight. We're going to take you over to L.E. Bell Field.
Yeah, and the weather complemented all of that, and it was really great. I saw a lot on social media about the homecoming parade yesterday. Really festive atmosphere. Everybody in Cleveland County really loves homecoming. They love their school, obviously. Tradition never graduates is their motto, but they really love homecoming. Everybody gets together. We'll take you out to L.E. Bell Field for homecoming night. Congratulations to Miss Lily Watson, who is your homecoming queen for 2022 this year. And John got a chance to catch up with a guy that I think a lot of people still hope was in a Tiger uniform, Rocky Hayes, former All-State player, great player in college as well, and checking out the action on homecoming today. There is Brandon Jarrell on the 11-yard pass there from Kyler McGrin. And then McGrin rolling out here and hitting Bo Clay. Watch this catch here by Clay. This is a great athletic play by both guys. And obvious excitement there after that one. 4th and 3 here. And this is what you can do when you have the legs of Kyler McGrin. Nobody's open down the field. Tuck the ball, run it, pick up the first down. A little bit later, 15-yard run here by McGrin. And McGrin would take it for a first down. This is 4th and 12, by the way. And he gets it all the way to 15 yards for a big first down. They would end up scoring on that drive, 6-0 early on. And then watch the recovery here. It's Jake Littleton recovers the onside kick here, and the Tigers have the football right back. However, this incomplete pass on 4th and 2 would create a turnover on downs, and Jacksonville's defense does its job. Here is Jacksonville back on offense. Kydrick Fisher from Jim Ogle. We know he's got an arm, and Fisher caught the ball right there, and big first down, 26-yard pitch and catch. A little bit later, DeMonte Sinclair here on the receiving end of this Ogle pass, 35 yards, and he takes it into the end zone. Extra point is good, so that is the go-ahead 7-6 lead for Jacksonville. A little bit later, Fisher once again on the receiving end. Great athletic play. High points the football and gets the pass there. Good to go. Then they score a few plays later. Will Greenwood, 32-yard pitch and catch. The pass from Ogle. It's now 14-6, Jacksonville. A little bit later, some trouble here for the offense for the Tigers. The fumble right there recovered by Jacksonville, and they take advantage, and is what you always want to have. The defense gives you the ball, and the offense capitalizes. There you see Fisher on the receiving end of that play. 44-yard touchdowns, 21-6. Kyler McGrin would sprint off here for a big 38-yard run before the half for Cleveland County. And that was set up this Noah Morgan 29-yard field goal, up and good. Guys, this game was a little bit more competitive than the final score would indicate. 21-9 is the score. As our crew, you guys left a little bit earlier, but give credit to Jacksonville really, taking this game by the throat. 41-15, your final score. Not a happy homecoming for Cleveland County. A great showing there in the first half, but a great job there by Jacksonville sealing the win.
And Jacksonville next week, I'll tell you, Munford is playing better and better every week.
Yeah.
There was something Coach mentioned about Munford is their confidence is growing. This game next week between Munford and Jacksonville. We talked about great quarterback matchups in East Alabama this year. Sylvester Smith and Jim Ogle.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked a lot about Cam Sandlin and Jack Hayes and Kyler McGrin, all this. Sylvester Smith versus Jim Ogle. Coach, that's going to be as good of a matchup at quarterback as we've seen all year.
It will be, and it was good to see that homecoming, be living there like I do.
Right.
I've been seeing it all week, and those people are still, they're believing in their team, they're still fighting, they're still trying as hard as they can, and that's all you can ask a team to do.
Sure.
But tonight, Jacksonville, G. Turner had 11 rushes for 131 yards and 3 TDs. Jim Ogle was 14 of 19 for 254 yards, and he had 3 plus 25-yard throws. And that's big. It means you're getting the ball downfield, and he had 3 touchdowns. He has 7 completions of 25 yards or plus. Kidrick Fisher. Is that right?
Right.
He had 3 catches for 108 yards and 1 touchdown. Monte Sinclair had 6 catches for 100 yards and 1 touchdown. Will Greenwood had 4 catches for 48 yards and 1 touchdown. And you can't, Kyler McGreen still back there playing offense, playing defense.
Right.
And tonight he had 21 rushes for 121 yards, and he had 8 throws he was 8 for 23 for 94 yards. So they kept fighting, but in the end Jacksonville pulled off and pulled away. But again, next week that's going to be a game to be at, to watch those 2 quarterbacks play. And what it will come down to is which quarterback has the most around him.
Yeah.
Which guy has the most around him to make those big plays?
Right, and you mentioned all of Jacksonville's weapons, and we saw those in the highlights. And Jim Ogle doesn't have to go to one guy; he can go to several different players, and that's obviously a really dangerous thing. But Sylvester Smith, and you heard it from Coach earlier, as Coach Kelly told us from Cherokee County. He's one of those guys. He could just beat you no matter where he lines up, and no matter who you have on your team. It should be a great matchup.
Guys, let's look at Class 2A now. By the way, we're going to see some of Sylvester Smith, a little bit, some of our highlights coming up in just a few moments. But right now we want to look at Class 2A, and a lot of action in Class 2A that happened tonight as we go to Region Rundown and we take a look at Class 2A Region 4. And B.B. Comer and Isabella, we talked about this for the last couple of weeks. We thought this would be the region title game. Both teams ranked in the top 10 in the state. B.B. Comer had their way with them tonight down in Sylacauga. 52-22, they beat Isabella. Vincent tonight with that big win at Ranburne. So basically, guys, you had the top 4 teams in this region. You can throw Thorsby in there as well. Thorsby had a close game with Fayetteville, but we'll say 4 of the top 5 teams in this region played each other tonight. But again, kind of like Valley Head and Anniston, B.B. Comer, I think, really did a great job maybe of wrapping up a region title potentially with that win tonight against Isabella.
And they're reaching their potential.
Yes.
That's what we thought at the beginning of the season. This is where we thought they'd be.
Right.
They had those 2 early losses, but again, they're playing up to their potential now. I know their coach, he's kind of got them going in the direction he wants them. So, and that's what you want to be this time of the year. You're starting to trend forward and not trending backwards.
Right, and you have, I think, a really great situation as it relates to the playoffs, because wouldn't be a bit surprised if B.B. Comer and Isabella meet back up a little bit later on in the year in the playoffs. So we'll have a great opportunity there. But I think whoever the 4 are that get in, it's going to be really tough, because this is a really competitive region. At least of the top 5 making those 4 spots.
I think there'll be a good team left out there. With that 5 of Thorsby, Ranburne, Vincent, Isabella, B.B. Comer. One of those is going to get left out. Gerhard, you mentioned 2 things as we go to 2A Region 6. 2 of the things you mentioned, you were talking a little bit about surprise teams earlier, and they were talking about rematches. Last year, Southeastern and Cleveland rematched with each other in the quarterfinals, and that may not happen this year, but they appear to be the top 2 teams in this region. The West End's going to have a lot to say about that. But the surprise team of the state this year, how Cleveland kind of surprised everybody and came out of nowhere and went to the Super 7, that team this year might be the Southeastern Mustangs. Tonight, look at Southeastern. 4-0, 6-0, sitting on top of that region.
Yeah, this is a program that's very young, relatively speaking. I mean, speaking of teams that we've highlighted, teams that have played football for 100 years, and Southeastern's still relatively young overall as a program. So it's great to see their success, and it's one of those things, Coach, and you know how it goes. It's incremental. Whether your graduating process is incremental. Can you get a winning season? Can you make it to the first round? Can you win a playoff game? And then can you go deeper and deeper? I think they're trending in the right direction.
Well, being a 2A team, sometimes it's hard when you watch them. You think, well, yeah, we want to throw the football, but do you have enough weapons around you to actually do it? If you just have one guy, a good football team can stop you. And we saw that last year in Cleveland, that they were able to take a good throwing football team. And that was one heck of a state championship game last year to watch. With Cleveland. I mean, it was unbelievable, the number of points they put up, but is Southeast going to be that same type of team?
Right.
Can they put up a lot of points? And really, when you get to 2A games, if you look over the years in the 2A games, there's a lot of points scored.
Yeah.
And that's going to be exciting to watch and see. Are they going to be that team that comes out of it that can score a lot of points?
The difference this year is Fife's back in 2A.
That's right.
That's what Cleveland didn't have to deal with last year, that Southeastern will in North Alabama in Class 2A. We come back, we'll have Regions Class 6A. We'll also have some great highlights coming for you from that Munford-Lincoln game. But before we get there, it's time for our final extra point of the night. Our team won Chevrolet of Gadsden extra point. The top offense in East Alabama heading into tonight's game was Alabama School for the Deaf. Heading into tonight's game against Grace Baptist Academy of Tennessee, the Silent Warriors had scored 191 points in 4 games. ASD before tonight was averaging 48 points per game, had not been held under 38. Tonight they scored 22 in that first loss of the year to Grace Baptist Academy, 58-22. But again, one of the top offenses and the number one offense in all of Class 1A in the state of Alabama. When we come back, we'll take a look at 6A football and Munford-Lincoln highlights. That's still to come on After the Game.
Your home is a reflection of you, whether that's classic, farm style, or something unique. We at Ted's Carpet and Floor understand that, and we'll help you through the selection, finance, and installation process. We have an extensive selection of designer tiles, carpet, laminate, and hardwood. Let us help you choose the perfect granite or quartz to customize your kitchen or bathroom. We offer free in-home measurements, estimates, and design consultations. Ted's Carpet and Floor, your style, our passion.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Cash back. Plain and simple. That's what you'll get on the Noble Bank Cash Back account. No tricks, no gimmicky names, just free accounts that pay you cash back. If unlimited transactions, fraud protection, and refunds on ATM withdrawal fees nationwide sounds like your kind of banking, visit us at noblebank.com and learn more about the Noble Cash Back account. Welcome to personal banking. Welcome to Noble Bank and Trust. noblebank.com. Member FDIC.
Anniston Orthopedics continues to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping our players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics offers our Saturday morning sports injury clinic from 8 to 10 a.m. throughout the high school football season. Anniston Orthopedics also offers full-service physical therapy and occupational therapy departments. To learn more, visit our website at www.annistonortho.com. Anniston Orthopedics, located in the Tyler Center adjacent to RMC.
Are you ready for some football? Come in all month long and take a test drive at Team 1 Chevrolet and have a chance to win an Alabama, Auburn tailgate, or the ultimate tailgate package. Log on to ChevroletofGadsden.com for complete details. Chevrolet of Gadsden, where everyone's a winner. Someone's going to win an Alabama tailgate, someone's going to win an Auburn tailgate, and somebody's going to win the ultimate grand prize, including grill, generator, and big screen TV. Chevrolet of Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period.
Well, I think that I've said this for a long time, and I don't think anybody could argue this. The top rivalry in East Alabama, I think it's been this way for several years now, is Munford-Lincoln. Mm-hmm. And I didn't see, last night we walk in to Munford Stadium. Munford's up 35-9, and it's still intense.
Right.
They're still, the Munford people over there going, boo, Lincoln, we don't like Lincoln. These people just, they don't like each other very much. And last year Lincoln beats Munford over at Keith Howard Memorial Stadium 69-13. And then this year, 1 year later, it totally turns around.
Right.
It's all Munford this time. We got a few highlights from down at Munford last night.
That's exactly right. And you'll hear from the winners about how intense this rivalry is coming up in a moment. A little peek behind the curtain. The guys, John and Charlie and them, hit 3 games. It's really hard to do. Winterboro, Talladega, and then the Munford game. That's the reason why the score was what it was when we got there. 35-9 in the fourth quarter. We'll see some big defensive plays here. One for Munford here, a fumble recovery, making life tough on the ground for Lincoln. And then Riley Brown punches it in for the touchdown, and that makes it 42-9 as Brown goes into the end zone. This is a really big play on special teams. Guys, watch the effort here from Munford be able to get the football. Guys, I had to slow this down so you can appreciate this. Great shot here by our main man, Charlie. Watch Jacob King, number 18, helping block, and then the recovery there by Munford right at the boundary line, and they were able to get the football back. Nobody scores after this. You'll see a couple of fumble recoveries. That one there by Gavin Hobbs of Lincoln. This one right here, Devin Elder of Munford. So that touchdown by Brown that you saw earlier, that was the capper. 42-9 the score. We don't have a ton of highlights for that one, but Coach, you got some good numbers for the Munford Lions.
I think the difference is Sylvester Smith.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he is every week, and that's why next week's big matchup is looming there. Sylvester Smith had 18 rushes last night for 209 yards, scored 3 touchdowns. He threw for 72 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's 281 all-purpose yards and 5 touchdowns, and that's against a good Lincoln team.
Yes.
I watched that Lincoln team in Alexandria go toe-to-toe. And I've seen Lincoln, play very good football this year. And he just come out and did what he does. Amari Edmondson had 13 rushes for 87 yards, and Riley Brown had a 29-yard TD catch, and Javon White had a 30-yard touchdown catch. But I think the thing about Munford is the past couple of weeks, they're getting more and more confidence. And I think, if anything, their quarterback's getting more confident.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, he thinks that any time he's back there that he can make a play. And we saw the same thing with him. We saw the same thing with Sandlin and Anniston.
That's right.
Those guys that have got athletic, mobile quarterbacks that can throw. And I think the thing with both of those, like the kid from Anniston and the kid from Munford, is they're getting better in the throwing game.
Yes, yeah.
We know they can run the football, but they're getting better throwing the football, and that makes them a lot better. I mean, tomorrow we're going to see a lot of that around the SEC, those guys that are running quarterbacks. So those guys are getting better and better at it. And to me, Munford is getting scary there because they're getting a lot of confidence that they haven't had in a while. And they know it. They know they're in the playoffs now. I mean, they know. They know they're in there, and their kids are starting to probably practice harder and do a little bit more practice. So they're a team to keep your eyes on.
Yeah, they're believing and they're buying in, and it really starts with Sylvester Smith, and he's one of the guys that is a great team leader. I got a chance to speak to him in the offseason, and you could tell his head's in the right spot. And Coach, you rattled off all those stats, but his natural position is on defense. And so to be that good of an offensive player, he's certainly a weapon. Our guys talked to both Sylvester Smith as well as Coach Easley after the game. You'll hear just how intense this rivalry is after the big Munford-Lincoln game last night.
I'm telling you what, our kids played so hard tonight. And we didn't have a good week of practice last week, and we came out and got beat by a good team last week. But I really challenged them this week, and we were a short week. We only had one real practice because we were so beat up Monday. We didn't go any pads at all. So they came out and they prepared Tuesday exactly like we asked them to. Focus was there. We knew before the game, just walking in the locker room, the kids were ready to play. So I'm just real proud of my kids. They played so hard tonight.
It all started in practice on really Sunday. We came in, we just talked after that loss against Cherokee County. So we came in, everybody just worked, and my teammates, my line, they made it able for me to make plays, and my teammates made plays. The guys were open, I just gave the ball and put it in their hands, and we just went hard. All 4 quarters. Last year they beat us 69-13 at their place. So that was really the momentum that's coming in this game. We had a point to prove.
I'm happy for our kids. Our kids took a beating last year, and we had a lot of injuries, and they were really good. And I think they set some school records on us in that game, and our kids remember that. And they were so ready to play them again, and I'm just happy for the kids and the community. The community loves this rivalry, and I'm happy for them.
Tell us about, for folks who don't know about Munford Lincoln, how big is this game to
Munford people.
This game goes way, way, way back, like to the 92 team who got shown today. You know, it's not only important to us to play in the game, but the people in the stands. You know, they come out to see this, and we just put it on. We just playing for the town, really, and each other. It's big. It's right down the road. Everybody's close, so they go to church together. We just all know each other. So bragging rights for the whole 365 days. It means a lot, you know, get to go. When I get to leave, I get to say I'll be Lincoln my senior year. You know, when I get older, 40 years down the road, I get to say I'll be Lincoln my senior year.
We need another win to kind of lock up the playoff spot. So thankfully we get back into region play this week. We've been hoping to get through these last 2 non-region games, you know, semi-healthy, try to get back to region play. We were able to do that for the most part. So hopefully a game like this will prepare us for, you know, a playoff game.
And that was a rare non-region game last night. Of course, Munford's 4A, Lincoln is 5A. Before we get to our East Alabama top 10 and our team of the week, we need to look at very quickly at Class 6A, Region 6 and 8. Not a lot going on there with local teams. Oxford got a much-needed win in Class 6A, Region 6 tonight over Pell City after 2 tough games with Pinson Valley and Hartselle the last couple of weeks. So Oxford still in good shape for a playoff berth coming up as they move through the next couple of weeks. And then in Class 6A, Region 8, Gadsden City, as we talked about earlier, on the road at Hazel Green tonight. And this was the game, I think, since the very beginning, especially since Gadsden City beat Fort Payne. I think everybody kind of knew if they beat Hazel Green, they're probably going to be the team that's going to win the championship of that region in Class 6A, Region 8. If we can look at that, we'll look at Class 6A, Region 8, Gadsden City and Hazel Green playing tonight. Gadsden City wins it 37-7. They've already beaten Fort Payne. To be honest with you, I think Gadsden City's JV team could probably beat Lee of Huntsville and May. Jamison, just, you know, so probably. Pressure. I just said that publicly. Yes, I did. And because they're just, I mean, folks, those are basketball schools.
And basketball
cultures. Lee and May Jamison, they'll tell you it's basketball. And, you know, Gadsden City, I think what they did tonight is they won the region title with that win over Hazel Green. So that's Class 6A, Region 8. Now, let's take a look at our East Alabama Top 10, and we will lead into our awards to remember East Alabama Top 10. I will tell you, I'll give you a hint on Team of the Week. Our Team of the Week is one of these teams right here. All right, we'll begin. Number 10 this week is a new team, the West End Patriots. West End was open tonight, but they are sitting there at 5-1 very quietly. West End at number 10. Number 9, the Etowah Blue Devils. Huge monster win tonight over against Aniana at Gilbert Stadium. Number 8, Jacksonville continues to roll. Just keep in mind, they're only 2 losses to Anniston and Hanley, so that's huge. Number 7, Hanley. The Tigers, with that loss, they had been number 1. They dropped all the way to 7 tonight with that 32-7 loss to Anniston. Number 6 in our East Alabama Top 10, Randolph County, still undefeated, 6-0 with that overtime win. Also, number 5, the Piedmont Bulldogs, cruising along with another win, a bounce-back win after that loss to Anniston last week. Number 4, you've got the Spring Garden Panthers. They took care of business tonight against Talladega County Central. Number 3 in our East Alabama Top 10, Cherokee County. Of course, the head coach of both of these teams with us tonight on the show. Cherokee County had an open date tonight, but they're sitting there with only 1 loss. That was to Aniana on the road. Number 2 in our East Alabama Top 10, the Moody Blue Devils, undefeated in Class 5A play. And our new number 1 is the Anniston Bulldogs. I don't think anybody can argue with this at this point in time right now, guys. Anniston deserves to be the number 1 team in our East Alabama Top 10.
They knocked off the number 3 team and the number 1 team, the defending 3A state champion in Piedmont last week. Knocked off Hanley today in impressive fashion. Still undefeated on the season. Coach Rico White, his guys. Obviously, in my opinion, I think that this is the number 1 team. And I like what you did with Hanley there. We saw the same thing with Piedmont after they lost. They lost not out of the top 10. They worked their way back. If Haynes can work his way back on the field, I think Hanley can work their way back into the top 10.
This is not even a top 10 quote, but the thing that's been going through my mind in the past 10 minutes is y'all know how blessed we are to see the quarterback play we have.
Yeah, we certainly
The quarterback play we have, just on that board, or not even some of the teams, but like Munford, they're not in the top 10.
Right.
But they've got good quarterback play. The McGreen kid at Cleveland County, the kid at Randolph County, people hadn't seen him yet. but he's playing well. I mean, he can throw the football, he can run. So we have been very blessed this year to see good quarterbacks in this region.
Hopper at Cherokee County, Thomas at Etowah. Then you got the Pope at Spring Garden.
Right.
I mean,
Hayes, McGrin. I mean, these you don't even have to say their first name. Hayes, McGrin, Smith, Sandlin. I mean, we go on and on with just great quarterback play. And we mentioned one of those teams that was in our East Alabama top 10 was going to receive our Awards to Remember Tough Guy Trophy, our Anniston Orthopedic Score shirts with the score of the game on it. They'll also get the Ted's Carpet and Floor T-shirts. So this week, our Ted's Carpet and Floor Team of the Week, we are getting ready to travel to Ottawa, Alabama, the Etowah Blue Devils. 31-7 winners over number 5 ranked and previously undefeated Aniana at Aniana. Certainly deserving as Coach Matt Glover and the Blue Devils win tonight. And they will get the Anniston Orthopedics Score shirts, the Tough Guy Trophy, the Ted's Carpet and Floor T-shirts, and all the honor that goes with being our Ted's Carpet and Floor Team of the Week. For Gerhard Mathangani, the Coach Michael Short, I'm Jon Holder, our entire hard-working After the Game crew. We'll see you back here next Friday night on YouTube and Facebook at After the Game.
High School Football Alabama Scoreboard is a production of Fairfax Garden Media.